from the legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics.
And hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to LG Ultragear presents TEC Gauntlet Season 3, powered by Crucial. Apparel sponsor is 656. Accessory sponsor is Cosmic Byte, and our esports sponsor is Aimlab. It's me, Kirito. Alongside me is my friend CCV, and we're here today with more Group A action as we go in today's match. It's going to be Reckoning Esports taking on Salt Esports for today. And it's going to be an exciting one considering Reckoning Esports CCV. We just saw their match yesterday, and they came out
Absolutely.
with a really surprising win. So, what are your thoughts on their performance today?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm really looking forward to it. Reckoning, we'll look at the standings later. Obviously, we'll go very in depth about both of these teams, Reckoning and Salt. But Reckoning haven't had the best of seasons. They were the bottom teams. Now they're still facing the wrath of relegation. However, they can end their season in a good manner. This might be their final best of three. The Reckoning will be playing. So, with that being said and done, the side of Reckoning, yeah, they've got to make sure that they end on a high note at the very least. So, the next time we do see them, hopefully, for all of their fans, we do see them in season 4, they'll be looking stronger and they'll be looking better than ever, ready to face any of the teams. Because if they can defeat teams such as FSESPORTS, well, it can be really good for them. It can be really on the up and up. Some great performances we saw in that best of 3 day before yesterday, but now we can also talk about the overall best performers in Gauntlet Season 3 in both groups, Group A and Group B. So let's bring up the MVP standings and let's glance over which players are exactly there. And yep, it's going to be the same. It's going to be Deathmaker, Paradox now taking position number 2. overtaking Sai, who's down into third position. But I don't think Sai will be complaining too much. His team, TEAMXO, well, they've had a perfect run in Group B, and they have cemented themselves as the gladiators right there, and as team with seed number 1. True Rippers as well, team number 2, and then you finally have Shooter from Team Exploit, which is also in Group B. So with the exception of Deathmaker, who from Velocity have also having a completely crystal clear run so far in Group A, all other 3 members of the MVP standings are in Group B. So the fight is intense, and it's these players from 2 to 4 who have really been fighting along the seasons for their MVP standings essentially.
Indeed, and one thing that I really realize is that this is usually not how the MVP standings go, right? This is really against the flow. Usually, we have a really good mix of players switching out every couple of matches now and then, but that's not really happening this time. We have been seeing this four up there consistently for quite a time in a row, but now we're going to be moving on to the group standings to check out how the teams are going to be, standing in this group stage, and especially in Group A, how all the teams are looking forward to completing this season. As we see, the top four teams are pretty much the same. Again, the participants of today's match, Salt Esports and Reckoning Esports, or Salt Esports, are on fifth position, and again, they have only played 4 matches. Meanwhile, the team above them is on fourth position is Weird Esports with 6 matches, 2 wins and 4 losses. So I believe Salt Esports, they still have some opportunities to get up there in that top four to qualify for playoffs. It's going to be easier said than done though, because Reckoning Esports, even though they're at the bottom, they are looking quite strong, especially coming off yesterday's win against FS. They are definitely going to want to keep that momentum up and give it everything they got. So, regardless, it's going to be an intense match considering both sides, they're fired up and they want to keep those positions only on the up.
That is the thing, exactly. Again, 2 teams fighting for 2 very different objectives. Reckoning Esports, they want to end their season in a good manner. They want to end it on a high note. Their previous best of 3, well, they ended up defeating FSESPORTS 2-0 in that BO3. So they know they have the confidence. Now they just have to prove to everyone that that best of 3 win wasn't a one-hit wonder, that they can keep on delivering consistent good performances. Whereas for Salt Esports, yeah, they can still try and take a spot in the main event and get that position in a fourth place and get the fourth position essentially, because it's going to be extremely valuable for them. The fact that, like how you mentioned, Kirito, they have played lesser games than their rivals and they still have similar scores and similar points. This 2-0 victory, if somehow Salt Esports can manage it, will be absolutely amazing for them. It's going to be invaluable for them in the long haul, considering that the main event is right around the corner, and considering that Salt Esports, well, this is going to be their final push against many opponents doing many BO3s.
Yeah, it's gonna be coming down to these 2 teams, and yeah, a victory for each team will really, change the pace of the tournament for them. On this side, Reckoning, they can get some momentum up for the next season. On the opposite side, Salty Sports, they can definitely, increase their position in the top four by winning this. It all gonna come down to who's gonna be taking the first couple of maps in the first match. So moving into the team highlights, we have our on the first team Reckoning Esports. We're gonna check out that roster. We're gonna see which players are dominating there. And from yesterday's performance, I gotta say, all the players are pretty consistent. We do see some impactful, support players, like obviously Yuvan. He plays on the Sentinel. He plays on different roles, the controllers as well. So
Yeah.
we see a lot of impact from those players other than just the duelist. INQ, he plays on the duelist quite a bit, but he's not the only one fragging out for the team. The rest of them not only do perform their respective roles, but also frag out whenever they need to. So overall, I'm seeing a really consistent Reckoning Esports, and I'm really seeing them overcome any sort of synergy issues or chemistry issues they had in the past.
Absolutely. Reckoning are definitely looking a far better squad than we saw them earlier in the season. Like you mentioned about the overall performances, every one of these players, they are doing good. We'll talk about the player spotlight, but like it was the player spotlight in the previous match, earlier when they played against FSE Sports, Sukuna has to be highlighted, the primary controller, and his utility usage. He may not be the person always getting the highest amount of kills. However, his utility usage is impeccable, and he really is the pillar that his team needs to support them in order to build a good defense, in order to defend, against any sort of executions or to execute themselves. That being said, looking at Bondef as well, playing the Sky, he has gotten plenty of kills. Not only has he supported his teammates, but he has gotten plenty for himself as well. Now, who will the spotlight be shined on? Well, let's have a look at the player spotlight from the side of Reckoning Esports. And the player, well, it's going to be IonQ, yep, the Jet main man himself. KDA of 236 to 210. He has it in the positives. Average combat score almost touching 250. An average combat score of touching 250. You know what? That's great for a Jet player. He has been giving us consistent performances. He may not always be the top fragger, however, he still stays at the top of the table, putting in his value with the operator, putting in his value with the blades, and any other bit of utility that he can get his hands on.
Yeah, he's not that kind of Jet who just, goes out and frags out like crazy all the time. He has his moments, but overall I feel like he's a player that prefers consistency over just, fragging out for a couple of rounds and then, going silent for a few. And that's working out for his teams. And consistency is the name of the game for Reckoning right now, as all the players are just getting the frags, getting the impacts every round. And IonQ is no exception, even with the Jet, even though he's not being the aggressive Jet main that we all want to see, he's still providing for his team and still giving us a show. That's the kind of player I really like to see on the map right now. And hopefully we're going to see some more play from him today, because obviously now Reckoning, they are in a bit of a tough spot still. It's not about the group standings. It's not about the group standings they're worried about. They're worried about the momentum and the confidence they're feeling as they end this season, as we talked about. But yeah, enough about Reckoning Esports. We're going to be moving on to the other team that is on the match today. It's going to be Salt Esports, and let's check out their highlights. Let's check out this team who's going to be playing on today. And overall, I mean, I want to give this to you. I feel like you have a better idea of Salt Esports, because I'm not, the best. I haven't seen all of their matches, so I want to ask your opinion on the CCV.
Salt Esports, they have been looking better the more recently we have been seeing them. Like their past few matches in the Gauntlet, they played against Sus Squad, Only Friends, even Weird Esports, and they ended up defeating all three of them. So their past three matches in the Gauntlet have been all victories. Sure, some of them went to the decider map, but they've been victories nonetheless. And that's the thing, that unlike Reckoning, who have found success only day before yesterday when they played that one BO3, Salt have been putting up those performances for a pretty long time, since the past few weeks, whenever we have seen them here at the Gauntlet. Now, with that being said, that's the thing that's going to be a major element, is that how comfortable are Salt Esports now taking on Reckoning? Because I'm sure Salt Esports must have seen the match that Reckoning played against FSESPORTS. And the thing is, Salt themselves lost to FSESPORTS 0-2 about a month ago, again here at the Gauntlet. So for Salt, what exactly is going to be their mental, their mentality here, their mental capability to take on Reckoning, knowing that they have that Reckoning have defeated a team to whom they lost. But regardless, it's going to be the players who will be giving those performances. We talked about IonQ from Reckoning. Now let's look at the players spotlight from the side of Salt Esports, and let's highlight that one person that everyone should be looking out for. We talked about the Jet, we talked about the Duelist. Now it's going to be the Sentinel. It is going to be Beast. Again, in terms of his KDA, he's been having a decent mid-tier performance. However, as the Killjoy, everyone knows it's your utility. It is your post-plant scenario and your situational awareness that matters. And that is where Beat excels. Using his lockdowns, using the nanoswarms and the turrets to just check for backstabs, he can make sure that any sort of lurk play that Reckoning members they'll be trying, well, it's shut down almost instantly.
Yeah, and that's the thing about these killjoys, and maybe even some cases the Cypher mains, that their duty is to sort of log down on this one site. And usually whenever there's any kind of rotation, he's the one that's staying behind. He's the one that's going to be, okay, let me guard this site. You guys go and check out whatever is happening on the other one. If anybody comes for a rotation, I'll handle it. I'll hold them off until the cavalry arrives. And he's been doing that flawless in this tournament. And I feel like the fact that he has received this MVP standings for the side of Salt Esports gives us an idea of how good his play with the Killjoy is. And I really want to see how he performs today, especially considering there's so much at stake for either of the sides. Salt Esports, this BO3 win could definitely lead them to reach that top 4 position to go into playoffs. And right now they would love to overtake Weird Esports. So I remind you, only 1 point separating these. And Salt Esports, they have played 2 less games than their team that's above them by 1 point. Weird Esports. So that's definitely something that they're willing to do, and I believe Beast's contribution will be proven valuable today if he's able to perform on that level. Not just Beast, every one of the players from the team. We are looking forward to see a really consistent play from either side of them. But speaking of the game, speaking of the matchup, we need to know the maps, right? So it's a best of three. Let's see what the maps are going to be in each of these series, and it's going to be in the first case Bind as we move on to the second map of Ascent, and then we're going to be going for the decided map Split. Now Bind, picked by Salt Esports. Do you think, CCV, this is a map that really favors them or the opposite side of Reckoning? Because I haven't seen Reckoning that much active on Bind, so I'm
That
not
is the
really sure
thing.
how their performance is going to be there.
For Salt Esports, Bind is on par with Ascent as their highest played map. As much as we've seen them in competitive Valorant, Bind is one of their highest played maps. And the thing is, on Bind, it's their attack that can suffer a little bit. And the fact that Reckoning chose defense means that Salt Esports aren't going to be on the best of starts. However, once the side swap happens, that's, I think, when we can see a comeback happening. Because on attack, the side of Salt, well, they've only got like a 37% win rate, which isn't too much. However, on defense, that number shoots up to a great 60%. So, with that being said, Reckoning have done something smart here. They know that the attack of Salt is going to be weak. That's why they have chosen defense first, try to build up a round lead as big as possible. However, yeah, again, the point that you mentioned, Kirito, is it a map Reckoning prefer? I mean, surely they have played it. Bind is a map that is played quite often. However, Reckoning always prefer maps. Like, look at Haven. It's a large map. Ascent is also not completely the same as Bind. Bind is even more constricted, even more close quarter combat. Whereas on Ascent, you have multiple avenues for long range gunfights, whether you're entering through A main, looking towards heavens, long, B main, etc. etc. There are multiple avenues. Bind is going to be close quarter combat turned to an extreme notch. So I think that for the side of Salt Esports, they need the Bind win because Reckoning are looking strong on Ascent. They defeated FSESPORTS there very, very recently. It was a close match, however, it was a defeat nonetheless. So, for the side of Salt, win Bind, try your best on Ascent, although I do see Reckoning winning their own map pick. And then, to me, I can see this BO3 going to the decider map of Split, honestly.
Yeah, that's a certain possibility because either, I mean, Reckoning, they just need to hold on to their attacking half, get as many rounds as they can. And as you said, the defense is very, very potent in this map. So I'm just hoping that they can hold on long enough on the attack side to
Yeah.
have a better chance to win this map in defense. And again, going into Ascent, Reckoning, they're definitely feeling this map. I think the main advantage that Reckoning have on Ascent is the fact that they sort of recently are able to control the pace of the match and play on different strategies. Like usually they really played aggressive. They went in for early peaks. They gave away a couple of players, and and after that they just kept peaking one on one. Holding on to two sides with three players is not the easiest task, and that was something they were suffering from. But recently, sometimes they play aggressive, sometimes they slow things down, sometimes they only get one pick and dash away, both on defense and attack. And this is something that I really like to see from Reckoning, keeping their opponents thinking that what's going to happen, we have no idea, keeping that unpredictability factor, keeping those mind games active. And even though the side of Salt Esports, I believe that they have done their research and they are ready for this matchup. It's still hard to, expect what's going to happen. And even when you expect it, it's hard to come up with a direct counter strat to that. And I believe Salt, even though they have the ability to do that, it's going to be a difficult one to pull off during the match, during the heat of the moment, during all the action that's happening. Excited to see if Salt are able to pull that off, but at the same time it's really looking optimistic for Reckoning on the map of Ascent. So as you said, Split very well might be happening today, so that just means more Valorant action for us, more Valorant action for the
Yeah.
viewers. So guys, just make sure you stay tuned with us for the whole series because it's gonna be an exciting one. And as we said at the beginning of the stream, both sides have something to fight for, and both sides do not want to give this away that easily. So it's gonna be 110% on each and every single map if it goes on each and every single map, which I certainly hope it does. And I believe the players are gonna be ready in a second. But before we go in, CCTV, or why did I say CCTV? I
It's fine.
apologize. CCV,
It's fine.
the real CCV, the man himself.
Yeah.
I want your opinion. What do you think the final score is gonna be in this best of three?
Ooh, that's an interesting one you've asked right there. I think I'm fairly confident split is going to be a possibility unless we know we have been talking about Bind and Ascent and
Yes.
how either one of these teams are favored there. On Bind it's going to be Salt and on Ascent it's going to be Rec. But the side of split, that's again the thing. We haven't seen these teams too much there. We don't know what agents they'll be picking there, how they'll be playing. What we do know is we'll be looking at the agents they'll be choosing on the map of Bind. Let's already jump into the map of Bind and we can start off. And I am definitely expecting, usually on Bind, we can expect something like an Astra Viper. That is something that teams prefer a lot. But in
Yes.
this case, it looks like it's not going to be something like that. Sukuna is back on the Astra. That is really good to know. He played the Astra multiple times, yeah, day before yesterday against FS Esports, and now it's also looking good. And yeah, we're seeing, oh, Bond is actually playing the race. So it's a double duelist, and the initiator role will be given to Yuvan. So Bond isn't going to be picking the Sky anytime soon. He'll be on the race, and that still makes sense. We saw plenty of great individual plays from Bond Def. Sometimes he can have a slower start. However, I think one thing is for sure, later on down the road, in the second half and all, he absolutely pops off. The thing is, Reckoning need him to pop off right from the get-go, as Reckoning need all of their members to pop off, because this is a map where Salt are looking very strong on. Speaking of Salt, Kirito, what do you think about their composition?
Yeah, again, we do see Trix probably going for that
Choose your
jet,
agent.
and he is hovering over that, and the rest of the players are going for the pretty similar lineup from the side of their opposition, Reckoning Esports. But I gotta say, going with a double initiator, I like that. I really prefer to go for a double initiator on any other map that they play. But again, they're going for a breach and a Sova. It's a group. It's a composition that works. That the flash and dash is certainly an option in that case, but
Yeah.
they could certainly also pick a Sky, and I feel like the Sky, it is not as easy to play as a solo agent. Whenever you're like in a 1v2 or a 1v1 scenario, you can't really use those flashes for yourself. It's possible, but it's difficult to do. It's much easier with a breach, but again, the amount of information a Sky can provide, especially with Trailblazers, and
That's the thing.
the fact that your flashes can actually give you information whether or not there are people who are there on the other side of the wall, and whether or not they are actually flashed, that's going to be some information that their side is going to be lacking from. But yeah, regardless of that, we're going to be moving into the game. As we see on the first half, the side of Reckoning are going to be defending, and it's going to be Salty Sports on the attack. And as you said, CCV, this attack is their weaker side. So I'm hoping to see them hold on long enough for the attack. Maybe get a 6-6. That's certainly not a bad scoreline. You can go for a fresh start in the second
Absolutely.
half, and probably get that lead early on. So let's see what happens as we're beginning
But
this matchup.
that's the thing,
Yeah.
even with the defense, Salt Esports, they don't have a single Sentinel, no KJ, no Cypher. And again, I have to agree with you about the Sky, because they don't have a Sentinel that can give them info. The only information gathering agent they have is going to be the Sova. Technically, Raze's Boombot can do that, but I'm not really going to count it. So all they have is Sova, and yeah, sure, the Sova can do plenty of damage. We can already see Sova's shock dots doing some damage as Reckoning get a trade in very, very quickly. So we're still at even numbers, but the Sky can really help with the Trailblazers and the Seekers and the regrowth. However, for now, the Spike going over to the A bomb site yet again. So Salt are ready to plan an A execution. However, Reckoning are also ready to defend it. We can see Juven. He is rotating over. So it's going to be a 3 versus 3 push. The execute may just happen, or we can see members from the side of Salt backing off. So they aren't completely sure what they want to do. Do they still want to go on A? Is it going to be a teleport to fake push? There are multiple variables right here. It's all dependent on time. With 50 seconds remaining, there goes the aftershock. Here comes the execute. Trick is right there. He spots the turret, destroys the turret. A lot of utility being thrown at from all angles. However, no one has died just yet. The spike may be going down. Sukuna, he gets another gravity well in. He will be pushing through. He doesn't catch anyone. So now it is a 4 versus 4 retake.
4 versus 4, a lot of players still alive in this pistol round. It can go either ways. We still see Salty Spurs. They have good positioning. They have side control. They also have a player down showers, especially that being a breach. Providing those flashes can be huge. But the first frag comes in, and the postman Trick gets a frag onto Juven. Trish with a trade onto Trick. Stranger trying to find some through the short, but it's not going to be in his favor. Instead, it's going to be whatever. Knife comes in. Oh my god, Casper gets a frag onto Sukuna. It's a 1v1, and Bondev's gonna push up ahead with a classic right click and gets that frag and a knife on the first round. Oh, we weren't certainly expecting that. Casper is gonna get the knife frag, and he's gonna be revenged, avenged by the teammate Bondev. But regardless, it's all gonna go down the side of Reckoning Esports. They're gonna take the first round in the bag, and a lot of a very interesting turn of events going down the first round. Looks like this match is gonna be
Yeah.
heating up even before we reach the end of the first half of the first map in this series. But yeah, I mean that's the way I like it. If I'm being honest, the players they are fired, we're fired up already. Hopefully the viewers are going to be fired up as well because right now it's getting really exciting as we approach the second half. We can see the side of Reckoning they're going to be able to go for the buys. 4 Spectres, a judge in the hands of IronQ was playing in U-Hall. Certainly that really constricted closed space of the side of U-Hall or Lambs as a lot of people like to call it. A judge will be really effective, and there we go. It was another shotgun on the opposite side, but it was only a
Won't be
shorty.
anything.
Yeah, IronQ is gonna pick up
Again,
one more shotgun though. Double shotgun.
No, I don't like the shorty, not an iron key. Better for the classic. But regardless, right now it doesn't matter what guns Iron Q have, and doesn't even matter what guns Salt Esports have, because to be fair, they don't have the best of guns. They've just gone for upgraded buys right here. Just an eco. They want to get a few kills here and there. Their objective isn't going to be to win this round. That's highly unlikely it's gonna happen. So they're ready to funnel through Hooker and push into the A-bomb side. But yet again, without the raise, everything falls down onto the Jet. The Jet has to entry frag, and only then is it possible to get some kills. However, if that entry frag is shut down as well, then Reckoning Esports, they may just get a flawless round for them. Sukuna though with a Spectre alongside Bondef. Bondef gets 2 headshots, and Sukuna follows through with 1 kill of his own. Trick. I was going to say how he's the entry fragger, he's the only man alive, he gets 1 more. That's a brilliant flick right there. Gets rid of another one of the members from Reckoning. Now, can he find more? So many angles to check, so many corners to cover. He's looking, doesn't have armor, still has the Sheriff. He knows Trist is there in Hooker. He's holding for Trist. He pushes into the bomb site, but won't be getting any more kills. So that's nice. He got the headshot on the Sukuna. Really nice. They got rid of 2 members of Reckoning. However, as we all knew, Salt Esports, it was going to be their eco round. Now they can afford rifles, and now they can afford full armor, and this is where we can see them making a comeback and getting their first round on board. At least they should, because if Reckoning win this one, then it can lead to disaster. So Salt Esports, they have all the advantage in the world. They can play it slowly. They've got utility. Execute nicely. Use the utility you have. With 2 initiators, there is plenty of utility to be used, not to mention the Astra. That's also there. Use all of that to your advantage and then push up. As right now, oh, Trick, he gets the kill on IronQ. That was big. Had IronQ won the duel right there, it could have slowed down the potential of Salt a lot.
Indeed, it could. He had a judge in hand, and that could have caused a lot of damage. And I wanted to say that I want to see more of the Breach and Jet combination as Yuvan gets one frag onto Caster. That's a controller out, and that's going to be a really big frag. Triss, he will be discovered by the Silverdron Shock Dart sent his way. Can he get a frag? No, he won't. Beast is going to get the frag onto him, and that's going to open up this A site. Now, the rotation's coming in from the side of Reckoning, but I reckon it's going to be too late, and the spike plant is going to be going down. They're going to have to play the post plant with the 1-man disadvantage as the drone comes in. It will spot a lot of players, none of them tag, but at least they know some information on the general location of these players. Bondef going for a peek, spots Trick with a Vandal. He's not going to be going for that anytime soon. Both sides fall back as we see more Breach utility coming in, even some raised pain shells to slow down this push. As Stranger gets a frag onto Yuvan, Yuvix with 1 more. Onto Bondef, the trades are going to come in as Sukuna gets 1, but Trick with another one of his own. And as we said, as we called it, it's going to be Salt with their first run of this matchup. It's going to be a 2-1 scoreline. Buy round paid off for them. Although a couple of guns were lost, it doesn't really matter. They're going to be able to rebuy quite easily. But the side of Reckoning, this time they're on their full buy. And it's going to be a gun round coming up. Both sides on rifles, both sides on armor. We do see a couple of players lacking. Both the, coincidentally, both the Astros are going to be lacking full armor. They're going to be have to playing on half, but again, I gotta say, from the side of Salt Esports, especially considering they are lacking a Sentinel, I feel like every one of their agents, every one of their players have such an important role. And losing any of the players early on, it's going to be really difficult, prove difficult for them to enter into the site without those utilities. So, giving away early picks is something they really want to avoid. And I think Yevix was playing a little bit with fire there. He's going to be staying alive, doesn't really matter.
That's the thing for Reckoning, you know, they can not only can Reckoning like take it aggressive a little early on and go for initial kills, much like what they're doing right now, but even if the execute happens, Reckoning can try and play for a post round, because without a Sentinel, a post round gets really difficult. Irrespective of who the Sentinel is, Killjoy, Sage, Cypher, they can help tons and tons in a post round scenario, but without their utility, without their support, you're relying on someone like Astra to use her gravity wells, you're relying on someone like Sova or Breach using their short dots. As right now, Yevix, oh, he had the angle, but Bondev flicked and he got the kill. My goodness, that click of the head, that was so important because Yevix is gone, the Raze is dead, and Bondev gets another. Again, this man just pops off all by himself, dry peaks, and he gets both of those headshots. The execute may still happen. Salt Esports, they're too deep into the bomb site to retreat right now. They are in. Stranger has been tagged, even he falls. Reckoning are in a near flawless manner right now. Casper, he knows someone's in the teleporter. Trick gets one more in the same position. He almost found a kill previously. 15 seconds remaining. The two surviving members from the attacking side will make that the one surviving member, Casper, all by himself. He needs to stay alive. However, in this position, he misses his shots, and Salt Esports missed the opportunity they had to win the full buy as Reckoning win it in a near flawless manner with only a single casualty, entirely shutting down the execute that the attackers had to offer.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way the round Reckoning wanted it to play out. They only lost one player. And overall, like, I believe they understand that the side of Salt Esports, they are lacking a little bit from the agent selection-wise. They're each and one of their agents, their utility is so valuable right now for them. So taking out one player or a couple players early on with some aggression is definitely going to cause a lot of problems for the side of Salt. And they're fully exploiting that right now, and that's going to result in them going for a bit of a half-fight. But here we go, really aggressive play from Trick, combination from the Astra and the Breach working out. That's how useful the utility is. That's how they are able to do the entry so potently if they don't lose players early on. Now instead, it's going to be Trist eliminated early on. IronQ is going to get a frag as well, and they're going to be able to recover for the post-plan as the Cosmic Divide falls. Post-plan begins, 3 versus 2. All the players are stuck in the side though. Is a bit of a troublesome scenario as we see the showstopper coming in. Multi-frag potential is there. Only one though on the side of Trix. Stranger gets a trade, but Bondef is still there. Flashes are gonna come in. Stranger with one more, but Euban gets a trade. 1 versus 2. Gets flashed. Goes for a peek, but Beast is there. Following up with the flash. Loses a lot of HP. Doesn't matter. He gets the frag in, gets the clutch in. And he's gonna be able to keep his team alive. Economy is gonna be a little bit recovered, but they did lose 3 players, so that's gonna be a little bit expensive. On the opposite side of Reckoning, they can still go for buys quite easily. A couple of them are gonna have to save a bit, but it's all good.
Yeah, again, the economy is in a weird position for either one of these teams right now. You know, we can see half armor sometimes. We can see a bulldog on Sakun off the side of Reckoning. Bondev's got the sheriff. Even on the side of Salt Esports, though they can have rifles, again, half armor is going to be a big factor to look out for. Trick right now pushing into Shahs again. Very quickly do Salt Esports get map control, and this is the thing about double initiator, double duelist, is that you can use very explosive utility and you can just push up. Trick can try and do that again, but now he knows that they have shower control. They can take the ultimate orb that's in the shower, get an extra ultimate point for themselves, you know, get the utility faster. That's nice, but still only shower control. No kills as of yet. We still have all 10 members alive. Maybe not sooner. You know, Yuvix is pushing in. Either he could get a kill or he can die by the hands of one of the members on the side of Reckoning. Bondef as well. He's getting a bit frisky on shower. There is Trick holding the angle. And Trick, oh, he loses that gunfight. Again, against Bondef. The reaction time on this man is insane. Everyone from Salt holds the angle and then they just somehow get their heads completely taken off. So now, Salt Esports, they're going to go for the execute. However, they're down a person. They can still try and plant the spike. Stranger's pushing in. But again, he was just moving, running and gunning, and that doesn't really work out all too well. Hunter's Fury dealing even more damage, potentially going to get a kill. Yes, it does. It takes rid of the... It gets rid of the other initiator on board. Salt Esports, one good thing. They plant... Oh, sorry, they haven't even planted the spike. No, that's why the Hunter's Fury was there. Yeah, Reckoning have completely shut down this push.
Bondef, man, he's just getting so many frags, a couple to be exact, but still providing very valuable for his team. And now it's all on to Yevix. He's going to be surrounded from all sides, and really well fought round from the side of Reckoning. They played utility so smartly. And I gotta say, Bondef getting those early frags, he's gonna pick up the momentum for his team. And that's the thing that Salt Esports, they sort of made a mistake on that, because as soon as they lost one player, they were sort of like really excited and they wanted to get into the side early on. They were able to push in and they almost got the bomb plan down, but some great usage of utility from Bondef, putting that nade in, making the Sova push ahead, and running into IronQ, who got a quite easy frag. Loses HP, doesn't really matter, gets the frag, that's all that counts. And then it was all just a really panicky scenario for Salt to get the bomb down. They could have TP'd, if I'm being honest. Both of them were really near the teleporter. that could have made things interesting, but that didn't really happen. So 4-2 is going to be the scoreline we're stuck with, as now a bit of an eco round is going to be coming out for the set of Salt. Strick does go for a Vandal, Beast does go for a Spectre. Not sure if going for those weapons is the best idea on Nico, but I guess they can afford to do so. As Strick, he's going to take down INQ. I guess the Vandal is making itself known. He's going to push it. He's going to be pushing up with the Sova drone, but doesn't get to entry into sight. He's going to give a Vandal to his teammate and pick up a Phantom. So that's great use of the weaponry they've earned. Even he really wishes he had the Hunter Fury now. Could have taken out a really potential player. Oh, they're actually lurking in, but there are players here.
And the thing is, the players on A, they don't have the best of guns as well. They have like frenzies and upgraded pistols and stuff. So dealing with this, it's going to be difficult. Give speaks with the frenzy. Oh, Beast though. That Spectre gets one kill for being traded out. Here come the reinforcements, both from Salt and from Reckoning. Still a 3 versus 3. This semi-eco is looking good for Salt Esports. They just have to plant the spike and add on even more pressure. Yes, they will be planting the spike. There is one. Bond has spotted the one person right there on showers, and the rest two are on lamps. There goes the lockdown against Salt Esports. They have a decision to make. Fight or flight. The Hunter's Fury, yet it destroys the lockdown, tags a lot of the members. Bondef is pushing in. He has to take the duel, and this time Trix gets the headshot in showers. Previously he couldn't, now he does. Reckoning down to 2 members. 1 HP, no more for Trist. Yuven is the only person alive. 7 bullets in the magazine, and I don't think he'll be able to make it possible. He should just teleport and escape out of the scenario right now. He sees this over. He's running after him. He knows the jet is there, but he loses his life. And Salt Esports win a near thrifty round, or semi-bye from their side.
Yeah, it was a really close one, if I'm being honest. It was a 2 versus 1 in the end, but Reckoning, if Bondef was able to get that frag onto showers, that could have really changed the game and turn it into a 2 versus 3. But instead, a 2 versus 3 was on favor of the opposite side, and they were able to slowly isolate the players. Also, Trist was brought down to 1 HP. I'm not sure how. Don't know which utility, or I guess he could have taken a gunfight, but regardless, his low HP, disallowed him to get any more frags, and that's gonna bring this to a 4-3 scoreline again. That was a pretty hefty buy run for the side of Reckoning. They can afford to go for some buys right now, but I highly advise against that. We do see some a decent amount of cash for a couple of players, but overall, the rest of them can't really go for buys. So maybe a half buy at most. Let this go to an equalizer, but then start to fight back. I guess that's the strategy they're trying to figure out now as we go into a tactical pause. It's going to be set in favor of Reckoning. So that's the discussion they're having right now. I believe that if they want to, go for a bit of a buy and try and deny this equalization, or they want to play it safe and just go for a proper buy with full utility, full armor, full weapons in the next one after this equalization happens. Either way, they can make it work, but again, they can try and go for some early aggressive peaks. I believe making them lose on utilities early on, if they take out a breach, if they take out a raise early on, that entry possibility reduces by a great amount. So that should be an idea that they should, experiment with, or at least attempt with. But for now, they're going to be playing really passively. I think he's going to be on the Blade Storm, and almost misses those shots, but okay, Trick's gonna be instead trading him out there. It's gonna be a 4 versus 5 situation, and now the rest of Salt are gonna be surrounding this A side, try to take it, unless Bondef from A short has something to say about it.
Yeah. Bondef has been the instigator so many times. He's been the person who can change the course of the round instantly. Right now for Reckoning, it's highly unlikely the course of this round will be changed. Yeah, Yevix gets another kill, this time with his pain shells, and Bondef all by himself. Yeah, he can't really do much. He was splashed, there was a boom bot and 3 members pushing at him. So Trist is going to be the only member surviving. He sees one, tries to go for the kill, but no, a flawless round win for Salt Esports, and their attack, in which they only have a 37% win rate, where it is looking nice. At the very least, it's going to be an 8-4 scoreline, which isn't all too bad, and that's at the very least. The more rational scenario definitely feels it's going to be like a 6-6 or something as we end the first half. Salt Esports, I don't think they have it just yet to go for to take the lead, to go for a 7-5, but a 6-6 split is looking very, very likely, and this is why Salt have chosen this map. It is one of their most experienced maps, with the exception of Ascent, and they're just showcasing their skills for a reason here by winning consecutive rounds.
Indeed, but that does result in a buy round now for the side of Reckoning. An operator hands of INQ. He isn't the most crazy fragger on the jet, as we talked about on the player highlights, but he is a consistent player. Now his consistency needs to pop up. He needs to, pop off with that operator at least for a couple of rounds, considering how big of an investment this is for his team. So what drone doesn't spot out Yevix, but at least they know that there's one player there. It won't be easy for him to push out though. There is an S to start that might, cause some trouble for him while he's gonna be walking out. Instead, it's gonna be converted to a smoke. So for now, his vision is denied. So is the entry. The players from Sol, they are surrounding this B side. Looks like it could be a B hit. A lot of pressure on Bondef and his teammate Yuvan there, as they're gonna try to hold on to this. Recon doesn't provide any information, rather gives them a little bit more, curiosity on whether or not how many players there are. Out of fear, here comes the showstopper. Won't find anything into A short. Bondef is rather stunned, and the counter showstopper will find one onto Yuvan. Stranger with another frag onto Bondef, and that gives the B side to them completely free. As the bomb plan is going to go down. Retake players are here, but 5 versus 3, and one player's up really close. Doesn't get the frag, but from elbow, Trek loses his life. It's going to be Trist getting that refrag. Trist, he's going to be tagged up to the wall as well. And entering the 4 versus 3 scenario. Low HP on the Killjoy. Can they make this happen? It's really unlikely. I think the operator should be saved in this scenario.
Yeah, that does seem like the best case. Reckoning, they do have 3, they do have the majority of the members, but I don't think that it's the best for them to start pushing up. Salt Esports, though, they'll be pushing. They lose 1 life, and Stranger, he gets the trade. Okay, so both Astras taken off the board. That's still fine. The spike is going to be blasted. Sova is pushing through and defend his spawn. I don't think if that's the right play. Yeah, he loses his life. Stranger also falls, and there's Yevix and Showers, but I don't think he'll be pushing through just yet. So Reckoning, they managed to save a rifle, they managed to save an operator, however, they lose the round. So Reckoning more and more seeming on the back foot, and what seemed to be their their predictable, their strong suit, their own defense, because Salt Esports aren't looking the best on their attack, is now turning into Reckoning, trying to salvage this half.
Indeed it is, and I believe that the side of Reckoning, they still have an opportunity to turn this thing around, still get a couple of rounds and get above the side of Salt, because they want this advantage. If they have studied Salt even a little bit, know that the defense is very strong on the map Bind, and for now they're going to be giving away this A side as we begin this next round, the 10th round in this matchup. As the bomb plan's gonna go down, the side of Reckoning gonna play the post plan as we see Trist walking into the smoke. So Kuna's on a flank though, that's gonna be really big, but Trist, the smoke lasts long enough for him to get 1 frag. Trick, try to find one more, he's gonna be taken down, and a lot of frags go in favor. So Reckoning, as we see Yevix tries to push in under cover, gets one, only good for 1 as Trist gets a trade. It's all on to Casper to defend this spike. 1 versus 4, it looks like very unlikely situation. And INQ is going to be proving me right as he gets an op shot in there. It's going to be a 5-5 scoreline. Reckoning, again, winning with 4 players alive. That's going to give a boost to their economy. They're going to be able to keep those rifles and get more money. And they're going to be able to buy Bondef a gun as well in this next round. So, economy for Salt is still quite stable. As we can see, they can go for Bytes. Again, all ARs in their hands. So in the end, I believe that this round, I mean, both of their economies are still quite shaky. So I believe winner of this round pretty much determines who's going to be having the better economy in the following up. And that might, give us an idea on who's going to be coming out with the lead in this first half. So say the side of Reckoning win this, they can keep those rifles, and Salt, I believe they're going to have to go for a forced buy or half buy. So on paper, Reckoning should be able to take this first half. If and only if I'm going to get out of that scenario. Was stuck on the gravitation level, is able to get out now as we see an execution coming out of Salt.
Yeah. Salt Esports right now, they're there at the brink of the bomb site, and yes, Trick gets the opening kill, and now they're pushing through. Yuven gets the refrag, and he gets a second headshot. Both the entry fraggers are gone. Yes, the spike is going to be planted, however, the post-plant utility is going to be very difficult. The Hunter's Fury from Yuven goes wild yet again, although in this case, it won't be tackling a lot. IonQ gets another. This is looking great for Reckoning. However, Beast, he is in an angle that is not going to be checked very, very lightly right now. He can push up, he can hold that, he destroys the turret, the spike is being diffused, he has to try and kill the person. Well, it's going to be Casper who kills that, but Casper is now all alone, and IonQ with the operator in close quarter combat. He got 1, he got 2, overall he got 3.
Wow, IonQ, the peaks he came out with, and the last frag there, he's very much standing in the open. I believe it must have left marks on his small spot right now. The way he flicked onto him, it was a bit of a slow flick, if I'm being honest. It wasn't the a fast jittery flick. It was just slowly dragging it there onto his body and getting the shot in. I believe even his opposition thought, okay, he's on an op scope. I can get this shot easily. Let's take my time for this and not make sure I don't miss. But instead, it's going to be quite the opposite. 6-5 is the scoreline, giving the lead to the side of Reckoning. But again, they did lose a couple of players. Not actually a couple. They lost a few players. It was brought down to a 2 versus 1, so they lost 3 players. And that's going to give Salt enough money to go for another buy. As we see, they are barely able to scrape enough for all rifles and all full armor. I believe they have full utility as well and a couple of ultimates to work with. I believe the Hunter's Fury will be proven really useful if they are able to get it to a post plant to deny these spike diffusal. That's going to be working out really well. And they also have Beast on the verge of his Rolling Thunder. So if he gets a few frags this round, the post plant will be really good. Or they can actually do the entry with that if they prefer to. Same case pretty much for the side of Reckoning. They are on the verge of a couple of ultimates. Actually, they already have the lockdown, and I believe INQ's just a couple of frags or a couple of ultimate points shy of the Blade Storm if he wants to go crazy with that. Looks like crazy will be something he's going to be going for. He's going to be pushing down A short, really risky as he sees the Astra. Knows he's on the left side. But can he get the frag?
Oh, yes, he can. Can he escape?
Can he dash away?
Oh, he cannot. However, still 1 kill. The operator goes. That is a bit unfortunate. Trick. Oh, he can't land the shots with the Blade Storm. That's really unfortunate. Bond F peaks and he escapes from the aftershock, taking minimal damage. The Hunter's Fury also being applied by the members of Salt Esports. However, there's a return lockdown from Reckoning. A counter ultimate. A counter piece of ultimate. Stranger gets 1. Stranger gets his 2nd. However, he doesn't know Sukuna's right there in the corner. And Reckoning Esports, they end this half not in a 6-6. But in a 7-5, they make sure they contain the lead and they take the lead while they head into the second half. And once the side swap happens, which now I think Salt Esports, it can be a bit better, but then again, their composition, they've got to be aggressive with this. They have to go for early picks. Nothing else will work. They can't play passively with 2 initiators and 2 duelists. They've got to look for early frags and try and stop Reckoning before they can execute. Because in a post-plant, Reckoning will have the advantage thanks to Trist playing the Sentinel. Trist may have, the lesser amount of kills, but again, I'm saying less amount of kills. Everyone has similar kills. It's just Bondef who has more. But other than that, everyone from Reckoning is giving consistent performances, just like everyone from Salt is doing the same as well. So I'm liking this. We haven't talked a lot about kills and performances, but except for the MVPs, except for the top fraggers, all other 8 members are also doing their part together and also getting consistent amount of kills, which is nice. But now they have to do more. As Salt Esports look to stop this push. They get the opening kill, but Ayanq is pushing through and he gets the trade.
And it's going to be brought down to a 4 versus 4. Side control is pretty much there. Yevix is still in that shower area. I believe they're aware of his position. Tricks, they're going to be coming in from the behind. He's trying to get 1 frag. Yevix is good for 1 more, but the trade is there from Trist. It's going to be a teleporter going to the side of B. All 3 of the players still alive. Is going to be approaching through hookah, but Casper, he's hiding in the cubby. Do they check this? And Ku's not going to check it. He's going to pay the ultimate price for that. He dies. Sukuna does get a trade, but he's still under a lot of pressure. 31 HP. There's 1 more player inside. Shockdart might get the frag, and it will. Brought down to a 2 versus 1. All on to Trist. He's only on 45 HP. The dart will reveal his position. Now he has to play around these walls as Trick approaches. It's gonna make things a lot difficult for him, and Trick, 1 shot to the body with the Sheriff. He's gonna get the frag in, and 7-6 Salt, they're back on track. And with this victory, they can go for a buy round, and that does suggest that 7-7 is on the board. But again, keep in mind, the round after this, Reckoning, they can go for their own full buys, and then they have the advantage. So I believe the lead should stay on their hands regardless. So it's all going to come down to if Salt can keep the bonus round after this, or at least do enough damage onto the side of Reckoning that their own buy round after that round. I mean, there's a lot of predicting happening, a lot of future shot calling is going down here. And that's all that really it comes down to. And I believe the side of Reckoning know that, and they're going to be taking full advantage of that as Casper was trying to push through. But he's going to pay the ultimate price. Strange is going to have to fall back. And Salt are just mowing them down. And who gets the car? Okay. Alright. Oh. Okay,
Oh,
Bondev gets the frag at least there in the end.
that's good.
7-7 as
Level
expected.
heads until we're home, yes?
Yeah, they got rid of 3 members of Salt Esports. That's really nice. That kill that Bondef got with the paint shells shouldn't really have happened. More like a silly mistake, but still, this was a great crossfire. You know, Sova Stranger, he lured them in, and then it was from the side of Hookah that Trick just got free kills all over using the Spectre. So that's nice. However, now look at this buy from the side of Salt. They're just going for the semi-eco. They're saving their credits for the next round, but they still have decent guns which they can use to try and kill the members of Reckoning who've got rifles. So like Salt Esports, like they've done before, they can try kill the members with the rifles, steal those rifles, and then save them for the next upcoming round. That seems like a very possible strategy that can be nice. So Reckoning have got to make sure that that doesn't happen. We can see Trick down in heaven, and he's just holding down a shot. So if Trist wants to push that angle anytime soon, yeah, he's got to be aware of which angle he peaks and when exactly does he show his head off. So right now, Reckoning are taking things slowly. They know they want Salt Esports to get a bit aggressive. Salt Esports as well, they can try and get aggressive because of how their composition is looking. However, they know they don't have the guns to go for head-on gunfights. So they're just going to stay passively, hold their angles, and wait for the attackers to push through.
Yeah, we do see a bit of a half buy for Salt, but I still like this positioning though. They're the weapons. The Marshal is watching a long range. The side of Spectres, they're gonna be watching a medium to short range area, and the Sheriffs are gonna be watching pretty much the main entries, which are, I guess, more linear than the other entries of the site. So they're playing to their weapon strengths, and I guess they're gonna try and get as much damage done onto the side of Reckoning. For now, it's not gonna be enough, as Strick is gonna die to the side of Sakuna. Teleporter comes in, but Bondev baits them all. He gets one though, does damage on the others, and then Nate is gonna be pushing them, forcing them into the side, into the hands of the rest of the players of side of Reckoning, and they're gonna be falling for it. They're gonna be holding on there, all three of them playing together, trying to go on to that B-long position, and I guess that might work out. There is one player isolated there, Bondev. He's the only one holding on to that B-long. There are players deeper into the side, but they don't have the best of angles to support him. They can provide some utilities. I believe Sukuna, as soon as he sees, Bondev gives him information, and Sukuna can now use some utility to provide cover, but Bondev, he's out of there. He doesn't want to lose this gun. They want this to be a flawless round. Are they going to be chasing him is the question. I guess not. They're going to be moving into the B side, and I guess they're all going to lose lives to the lose their lives to the spike. Casper, can he find something? No. He's going to find his own demise. EVX tries to find an exit frag, but they're going to be denied. So 8-7, lead is back in favor of the side of Reckoning, but again, Byron comes in. Or actually, no, they're gonna... Salt, they have an interesting buy.
Again.
Is this what they're gonna stick with? It's gonna be... Okay. Alright, fine.
I guess I'm gonna be honest, the operator has got to put in a solid amount of work. Trick has got to make sure he gets multiple kills with that operator right there. There's no other choice on his shoulders but to try and do that. So with that being said and done, again, Reckoning, they have a round lead, but it's only a single round lead. Ayanku holding the angle, he spots EVX and he gets the opening kill. So yet again, Reckoning are ready to execute. They are being delayed. There's going to come the peak. Oh, Beast, he tried to peek, he flashed, he tries and peeks again. He picks up the Vandal and now he falls back. The operator was also right there. So Reckoning know that a lot of utilities being spent on A. They can go on B, and that's exactly where the spike is going. Stranger, he should not push. Stay in the bomb site. Do not give your life away. He has spotted one of the members and he dies. Oh, this can be big for Reckoning. Can they take side control as soon as possible? They should be looking to do that. Look at the rotations coming in, but it may be a little too late. Reckoning have side control. They can plant the spike, and now before you know it, it's a post-plant scenario. Stranger really shouldn't have pushed through all the way, because now his teammates don't have the sight to their name, and because the time pressure is now on them.
Yeah, I get what he's trying to do to try and find an early pick, but again, I bet he didn't realize that the players had actually pushed up so far up into the B main that they can just, you know, press A once and have a clear vision on him. And that's going to put his team in a really difficult scenario. And the resultant of that scenario is going to be a save. And, I mean, they aren't even going to attempt to go into the side. They don't even, you know, go to the doorway of CT to the B site. They're just going to be like, okay, we are not going through this. We need these weapons for the next round. And they are going to be trying to save those. Again, Reckoning might lose 1 or 2 lives as they're going to be going in towards this A side where Trick is holding with an operator. Or are they? I guess they aren't. I guess they realize that an operator is on the table and they aren't giving away any frags. So that's really smart. They're going to keep all their weapons. Salt are
Yeah.
going to be able to go for another buy, so it's still very much on equal terms. The economic management, honestly, from both of these sides are really, really good. They're able to keep the guns for each and every round. I mean, Salt, their economy should be in a really bad position right now, but they're able to salvage things and make sure they have the best of opportunities going on to each round. The ground gap is still there, but with these weapons, the equalization is still very much possible. But running out of time, reckoning the economy is booming right now.
Absolutely, Reckoning are so confident and they can take those gunfights. They can give 1 or 2 rounds away. They know about the Sova. The Sova peaks and oh, Stranger, he tags the opponents a bit. However, Ayanq dashes back and keeps his life with him, albeit he lost plenty of HP and all of his armor. But regardless, Salt Esports are still here. They know this time the push is coming. It's going to be 4 defenders on the bomb site and 4 attackers trying to execute. Trick gets 2 kills with the operator. He's still looking for more. He won't find any other. Reckoning have the man advantage. Can they get rid of Stranger playing the Sova? Because he is the only person near the bomb site right now. There's Bondef. He's peeking and Stranger gets the headshot right before the satchel was blasted. So Reckoning, they TP back to the A bomb site. However, Salt Esports, I think they know about this.
know.
And I think
They don't know.
Breach is going to A. Oh, this can be big.
He
This
was
can waste a lot of
concussed.
time.
They were both concussed, so they didn't hear the TP.
Oh,
I mean, now they know.
yes, now they do.
But it's gonna be brought down to the post plant regardless. Are there any ultimates available? They are close, but not for this round. Also was still on the card. Couple of shock darts for Stranger can at least isolate some of these positions. It's all onto these 2 initiators. They're gonna be destroying the utilities onto the killjoy. That's a smart move that a lot of players don't like to do. One's gonna be tapping the bomb, one's gonna be watching A short. Meanwhile, there's a flank from Showers. They are not predicting this. Stranger has his back turned. Chris is trying to distract them, and Juven's gonna take this opportunity to push through. Denies the spike plant, and he's gonna fall back. He's gonna send a recon, but Beast gets a frag on the Trist. 1v1. The recon has been put in, and now he knows where he is. Only 7 bullets for Beast. Time's running away. He has to run, but is he gonna stay alive? He's gonna die to the spike. And losing his life, that's gonna give away all the weapons. Regardless, they do bring it down to a 1v1 in the end. But again, as I said, the start of the round, economy is booming for Reckoning, and these buys are nothing for them. They can easily go for rifles and back to pistols for Salt. 11-7 should be on paper done for them, and match point shouldn't be a problem if they keep this momentum up.
Yeah, for the side of Reckoning, that's the thing. I mean, economy is mattering less and less. What's mattering is how many rounds they're able to win consecutively and how much damage they're doing to Salt Esports. Salt only have a single bit of ultimate right now. That's going to be the Blaze Storm on Trick. What a hit! Whoa, yeah. No, he was moving. Oh my god! And through the smoke. These jets are something else. These jets are something completely out of this world. 2 excellent headshots that we have seen. 1 with the rifle, 1 with the blade storm. And we may see a few more happening as both the jets are still alive. However, on different bomb sites. Beast can go for the flank. However, side control has been taken by Reckoning.
There's another player on the flank though.
Yeah, there's Bondef. Bondef can spot him. Bondef can see him.
He has a better gun.
You should run.
The range though.
Oh.
My. Okay. He gets 1 more onto Juven. Trist now realizes that there is a player on the flank. He's gonna change his focus onto him. Lockdown has been destroyed. 2 versus 4 scenario. This would be a big round for the side of Salt if they're able to win it. Again, Blade Storms come out for Trick. He's gonna find one to execute this. The only player alive finds 1, but 6 HP. Tries to send some swarm nades in, but doesn't have enough time to activate them as Beast is gonna push in. And Beast with the flank is proven so valuable. I thought that Bondef coming into the flank, he's gonna win that gunfight easily, but Beast understands that, okay, I have a Sheriff. He probably has a better gun. Let me close the distance. Let me stand somewhere in an off angle where he's not gonna check me and land the easiest headshot of my life. And that's exactly what he's gonna do. And it's gonna be a 10-8 scoreline. Economy somehow barely alive for Salt. They're gonna be able to pull through. And they're still gonna have a decent chunk of money after buying in this one. So not too shabby for them. Again, Reckoning, they are still in the driver's seat with the round lead and with the better economy. But again, if Salt, again, it's just a game of momentum trading. Whichever team wins a couple of rounds or 3 rounds in a row, economy, momentum, everything shifts to their side, and they're looking like, okay, they're gonna take this map easily. And before we know it, the opposition wins 1 round, and the whole thing's just flipped. The turns have tabled, and it's just completely boggling my mind.
Yep, the turns have tabled indeed. But now, yeah, again, that's the thing. How much of the momentum is going to stay with this side of Salt Esports after this round win? Because Reckoning, first of all, they have taken the tactical timeout. Secondly, yes, again, they're going to go for the full buy. The economy is looking nice. They don't need to worry about it for the next 2 rounds, even if they full buy right now. And they have got plenty more ultimates on board. So as an attacker, they've got Cosmic Divide, they've got Bladestorm, and they've got the Showstopper. 2 ultimates which will help them immensely and be very influential for those entry kills. That is great. The Showstopper can deal so much damage, and the thing is, Bondef has got to make sure he is on the forefront right now and he doesn't die early on. Bondef is right there. Trick was gonna look at him, but Trick decides to fall back inside of the bomb site. IonQ is also present. He's been spotted. He's gonna fall back, and there comes the Rolling Thunder. Here comes the flash from Beast. He'll be peeking, but he dies. Bondef knew to look for that, and Yuven was also holding that angle. That is great stuff from Reckoning. They lose 1 life, however, they keep 1 more. Bondef uses the Showstopper, won't lead to anything. Here comes side control for the side of Reckoning. Strangers being tagged, 20 HP. The Cosmic Divide comes through. Trick has to get plenty of kills. He spots one, he misses his shots. He's got to still go for it. He has to look for the kill. He cannot miss right now. Reckoning are ready. Are they going to TP? Yes, they will. IonQ gets another kill. Salt Esports are down to 2 members. Because of the Cosmic Divide, they can fall back. There's only going to be Yivix on the bomb site with, well, now it's only going to be Yivix all alive with the judge, and Reckoning Esports in a near flawless manner. They take this round win. Man, was that amazing.
This place is nice.
That was
but
so
not nice
smartly
enough to
played,
die
not
in.
just from
Let's
Reckoning,
win
from
and get
Salt
outta
as
here.
well. Salt, they had 1 ultimate, that was the Rolling Thunder, and Beast, as soon as he saw that the B long was empty, whoever was, I think it was Bondef pushing down that outside hookah area, he was pushed back as well. He just went into TP and just ulted that shower area, allowing the players inside the site to push through and maybe get a couple of frags, and they would have gotten a couple of frags, but they just didn't push in time. IonQ almost died there. Yuven saved his life by getting a frag. He does get taken down, but the trades were there. So overall, really good utility, and that in the meantime, all those activities in shower, allowing the person to A short to push in, and leading the charge was Bondef with the Showstopper. He didn't get a frag, but he was able to do the entry, and then it was just all a crazy fest of utility and ultimates. They were forced to TP in, but it was all good. They got the bomb down, and it was a really good round. I feel like the confidence should be quite high after that, but okay, not like that. Not like that. Good idea of good mentality from Strict to, you know, identify the scenario and take it down both players. Easier said than done. But Casper goes on to a short, spots the shoulder of Chris, takes him down. IonQ does get a trade, but it's a 2 versus 4 scenario. Drops the spike in the site. Beast in the smoke and deny the spike plan so easily. Does he go for it? He's going for it and gets one. Can he get a second? He will! What a spray transfer, my lord. Both of them are headshots as well. 11-9, and they're still alive in this. It's just, as I said, the Clown's juggling the balls. It keeps going in favor of one side and then going in favor of the other. Again, Salt still behind a few rounds. But if they keep this economy, they just need to win a couple of rounds in a row, honestly. Get this to a 11-10. And then maybe the economy from the side of Reckoning will be looking a bit down, and they can equalize and maybe take the lead. But again, it's all going to come down to if they can get those frags, if they can exploit their aggressiveness and the aggressive agent selection they have going into this next round.
Exactly. They've got to make sure that right now, no matter what happens, for the side of Salt Esports, they win this round. They get double digits. Beast has to hold back. But again, in terms of utility, he lost his life. Doesn't matter too much. Salt Trick, he gets the trade 1 more. So it's still 4 versus 4. Reckoning have very early side control, and they can push up even more. However, Casper gets 1. He gets a second. Yivix pushes even more. And before you know it, it's all down to Sakuna. So looks like Salt Esports, they'll be getting the 10th round on board. How does he escape that? He escapes that. Okay. Sakuna escaped that. He's just going to stay in the TP. I don't think anyone will be pushing him in the TP, can he try and plant the spike? Now that's going to be really valuable. If he can get that extra bit of economic boost, it'll be really good. However, the more I think about it, the more it's looking unlikely, and he may just look to save his gun somewhere near the bomb site, or he can still try for it. Both of them are looking very, very likely. And Reckoning are so close to that match point, so close to
30
securing
seconds left.
overtime on the map pick of their opponents. But yet, Salt Esports are pushing up more and more, and they're still trying, and they don't want to give up the fight just yet. Sakuna, he has spotted the recon bolt. He will be planting. No, 1 HP. Can he get even a single kill? Yes, he gets one. You know what? Fair enough. One kill, that's fine. I don't think he'll be complaining.
Yeah, he was in a difficult scenario. He was able to make it count. The spike plant would be the icing on the cake. That would give them enough economy to work with. Again, with that, just that singular frag, they are able to get some buys. But again, we see Juven not playing that AR. We're going to see Bondef on half armor. It's not the best, but again, Salt, they are able to bring it back from the dead, and they're just one away from equalizing. This is a bit of a force buy, I would say, from the side of Reckoning. So if they're able to win this, I believe Reckoning won't have the best of economy in the next round. So 11-11, then match point for Salt is definitely on the cards. And I mean, again, CCB, this is just the first map, and it's just this intense.
Yeah.
This is not just like a gunplay battle or utility battle. It's a battle of strategies and who's trying to counter whom. It's a battle of economy as well. So many micro fights going down in the overall war. And I mean, both sides are just equally matched right now. I can't really separate them. Or at least even, you know, favor a team right now. Both of them playing really smartly. Bondef trying to go for a wallbang. Unfortunately, that is not wallbangable. Instead, he's going to be having to fall back towards the A side. Now, with the Astro Stars being placed in the A side, Casper, he's going to be having his tails perked up. He's going to be like, okay, maybe they're coming to this A side, which they are. INQ is going to be dashing up into the side of you all. Not into, he's going to be outside you all. Beast inside the smoke. Does he hear the Astro right next to him? I guess he does. With the flash, he's going to be peeking ahead and knows exactly where he is. Gets a frag, but the trade is quick by Bondef. Still a 4 versus 4 scenario. Showstopper uses VAVX, misses, but INQ is there for the trade. Trick is going to get trade off his own. So many trades happening at once. They're going for the TP, but Trick gets one before the TP happens. INQ gets one, but the trade doesn't happen either. It's just going left, right, and center, but it's all on to Trist. He can get the diffuse down, sorry, the spike down, and place one swarm nade onto there. Now, I bet he has a general idea on where these players are, and he's going to be playing the post plan based on that. He's going to be rotating to hookah. Can he catch Trick off guard is the question. Is Trick... Oh, he's going to go into the site, so he's going to have to buy time with that swarm nade.
He may be able
destroyed.
to. Oh,
Destroyed, but oh, half the
One enemy remaining.
gets one.
and he gets
post
one.
plan.
This is great.
Oh, you can wall bang that maybe, I don't know. Oh, he's just buying
He's just
time. He's
peeking.
just buying time. He's
Oh
buying
my,
time.
55 HP.
Oh,
Few more shots, and he does
he
it.
does it.
He does it. 1 versus 2 clutch. The immense pressure. Everyone was feeling the pressure. I mean, the moment itself was so pressurous. It didn't even need anything else. Just look at Trist right here. And then look at Casper. Two completely different individuals playing different agents. But in that case, oh my goodness, they were just looking to do the same thing, kill the other person. And unfortunate for Casper, he just couldn't do it. And now Reckoning can go for the full buy, albeit with half armor on a few of the members. And they're so close to just winning this entirely. 12-10 is the scoreline right now.
It's gonna be down to the wire, because again, Salt, they still have a decent buy to work with as well. Trick's gonna be on that operator, and we know how potent he is with that. But INQ, he's gonna be saying, no, I don't need no operator. I just need some blades, which are all gonna miss. Yevex is gonna try and buy some time with a nade, trying to delay the entry, and the rotation's happening. The flank's happening as well. Trick's gonna use his own blade storm, trying to find something happen. Make something happen, but no, he's gonna fail. Lockdown's gonna be activated, and the entry into the B side is done. Beast is on the flank though, and the Killjoy turret is not activated, so they have no idea he's behind them. Trick does get one, not before INQ gets one more onto Yevex. It's gonna be a 4 versus 3 scenario. Trick, he needs to hold on. He needs to buy enough time for the flank to come in and find a frag. Can he do it? No.
Ooh. Okay.
Last player
All
standing.
down to 2 members, all down to Casper. And Casper, in the previous round, he died by the hands of Trist. And in this match, he dies by the hand of Trist as well to end it and to give Reckoning Esports their first map win in this best of 3, 13-10. I mean, Reckoning deserved it. We all say that it's going to be the map pick of Salt Esports. It was, it is one of their most played maps, but they lost. Reckoning are showing and proving it to everyone that they still have, that they can still live up to the name of Reckoning Esports, and they can still give the value, and they can still perform to everyone's expectations and deliver beyond by winning their opponents' maps.
Yeah, again, remind you that this is not really a match that really matters to Reckoning. They are,
Yeah.
bottom down, and they're just playing for motivation right now. And we can see how I mean, despite being in this scenario, they played so confidently. We're gonna see exactly what happened there in the match highlights as we are gonna be going into it right now. We're gonna see how exactly the utility was used from both sides, and I believe that the side of Reckoning, they played it quite smart, if I'm being honest, which I haven't seen from them in their main matches where they had the opportunities to actually go up there, but it doesn't really matter now. What they have found a rhythm to play with. Hopefully, it's gonna carry on. But they understood that okay, this team, this agent composition from the side of Salt, it all comes down to aggression. It all comes down to finding opening peaks on both attack and defense, and they played that really well. I feel the only thing I feel like they didn't really get was maybe some of the strats they were pulling on outside that A shower on their defensive half from Salt, where they TP through from B-long to that outside of the A showers position and catching players off guard there. They weren't really they did that only a couple of rounds, if I'm being honest, but still I feel like they should use some utility there. But overall, really clean play, really good utility, and really good post plans, if I'm being honest. They were able to, the rounds that they did win, most of them were with the majority amount of players. They had maybe 4 to 3 players alive, so that's good as well. And that kind of consistency is gonna pay off in the long run. Hopefully we see that in those in the next season, possibly in the next map as well, because again, this was Salt's map pick, and again, going to the second map of Ascent, we know how strong they were. At least we saw yesterday how strong they were. If they're able to bring it back today, it's gonna be a really, really interesting match for them.
Certainly so, certainly so. Reckoning can obviously try. And Reckoning are in a position where they're like, we may not qualify, but you know what? We can ruin the chances of our potential opponents and not let them qualify. Because right now, Salt, they still have good chances in order to take the position for the main event, in order to take spot number 4. But by losing this, if they do lose this like 0-2, they won't be getting any points. And Reckoning may have spoiled some other team's plans for the future to go and try and play in the main event. Right now, still a lot to hypothesize. Ascent is also there. So much to talk about for both of these teams. Let's get back to the highlights, because we have been seeing constant action so far. And with the score like 13-10, you absolutely expect something like that. And yeah, just these rounds of isolating gunfights and trying to win. And you win. He stayed alive in this round, and Beast also died because the spike exploded. So this was also great for Reckoning. This was where they were building and building that lead. After this point, they won another round. This was also insane. Now let's look at the Blade Storm kill. Just
All
through the
right.
wall. They had the information and he delivered through the smoke. Sorry, not through the wall. But yeah, that's exactly, again, we're looking for these kind of plays. And IonQ and Trick have been delivering this. Going into a map such as Ascent as well, Jet versus Jet is going to be a duel everyone will be looking out for day in, day out. Every single round, we may see something along the lines of that. But right now, Reckoning, and this is where they started to give up a little bit of the round. This is where it became like the 11-9, 11-8, 11-10. But after that, Reckoning finally managed to secure those 2 final rounds, and then they secured the win overall.
Yeah, I mean that was a really consistent play coming down in the end. They showed that consistent groove overall in the matchup. Quite a bit. We did see a couple of rounds here and there that didn't go in their favor, but yeah, here we see the scoreboard coming up there. Bondev actually coming up for the MVP from the side of Reckoning. And if I'm being honest, I didn't really even realize Bondev was that high up, because obviously INQ's on the same KD, on the same amount of kills, and on the same
Yeah.
KD almost, but the ACS is just it's not monumental, but it's higher there for Bondef. But overall, I feel like he had a good start to the game. He immediately got a lot of frags and did really good on the entering for the side of Reckoning. And speaking of the raises, if I'm being honest, how important are the raises in Bind? As soon as we see Salt, as
Very.
soon as they lose either the breach or the raise, their entry just falls all over the place. And I feel like Trick, despite being the MVP, his main objective as a Jet wasn't doing the entry. The dash wasn't really his way of allowing his team to get into the site or get into the site while a retake was happening on defense. I feel like that job mainly was in the hands of the Rays, and I guess it just shows how important that Rays is and how important the utility that comes up before the Rays entry in the map of Bind. And I guess Bondef was the one who was able to exploit that. That's why he gets the MVP. But overall, I guess it's a great play from both teams. Salt, they were able to get some consistent round, but I guess it just wasn't enough, and it's gonna give
Yeah.
away the victory to Reckoning. But but with that Reckoning, I feel like they have a lot of momentum to work with now going into Ascent. As we said, it's a strong map of theirs, as we saw
Yeah.
yesterday. So who knows what might happen? And again, it's still the possibility that always happens in these series is in the Gauntlet is that what we think is gonna happen doesn't happen. Quite the opposite happens. So oh, I mean, I don't know if I want that to happen. It's just a lot of things happening.
A lot
But
of
I want
things
to
up.
know I want to know what's happening with you. How are you feeling?
Well, I do know one thing that's going to be happening right now. Again, very hectic match. I know everyone is tired, especially the players. They need a small rest. This is again the final best of three that Reckoning will be playing. So if you don't want to miss even a slight second of their upcoming map, of their upcoming maps, make sure you grab a can of Red Bull. Make sure you're energized and potentially for your future Valorant rank sessions as well. As right now, we'll be taking a quick break and we'll be back with map number 2. So till then, stay tuned.
from the legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics.
And guys, welcome back to the LG Ultragear Presents Tec Gauntlet Season 3, powered by Crucial. We are back with the Group A matchup between Reckoning Esports and Salt Esports. Map 1's been done on Bind, and ooh, it was an exciting one. And it certainly
Definitely.
did not disappoint us in any way at all, did it?
No, it may have disappointed a few Salt Esports fans. They were really expecting, and Salt were looking very confident heading into the match on paper. However, Reckoning ended up defying the expectations and they took their opponent's map. Now, as we can see in front of our screens, the map veto, we go forward and we move to the map of Ascent. Maybe we get to see Split as well, but that is a story for another hour. For now, Ascent is going to be the talk of the town. Reckoning Esports, they played this map a day before yesterday against FSESPORTS. They ended up winning here. For the side of Salt Esports as well, the last time they played this map was like 9-10 days ago against Weird Esports here at the Gauntlet, and they did end up winning it. It was 14-12, so a very, very close affair. And going into overtime is where Salt took the dub for themselves. Now, against Reckoning, there's so many other variables. The first variable is going to be Reckoning as well, are looking very strong on this map. They just had a win very, very recently. Not to mention, they have defeated Salt on their own map picks. So Salt Esports, their mentality will be a little shaken right now. They won't be as confident. They know they've got to win Ascent. And even if they win on Ascent, Split is a whole other debacle. But for now, we can focus on Ascent. We can dive into Ascent. So let's jump in and let's have a look at the agents that will be selected. From the side of Salt, I'm not going to lie, Krito, I am expecting a double initiation. Yep, we can can see it. Double initiator, single duelist. Most likely Trick will be playing the Jet. This is the comp they ran against Weird Esports as well, which helped them win 14-12, and they've got to be aggressive. Again, if you have Breach and Jet on the map of Ascent, that's a very Korean Valorant style to play as. You have to be explosive, you have to be aggressive, kind of like what Salt Esports were trying to do on the map of Bind as well. But looks like no, are they going to go for a double duelist? This is very interesting. A double duelist certainly changes things, because yet again they won't have a single sentinel on board like they didn't on Bind, and that can change things quite a lot. Meanwhile, for Reckoning Esports, well, this is a composition, Kirito, we have seen before them take up.
Yeah, definitely. And this is the composition I really love, especially on the map of Ascent. I feel like this is the most effective one in my opinion. Going back to Salt, I guess it did work out in their favor. I guess in the end, Jivix is going to be, switching back to the Killjoy. I feel like that's a pretty decent decision considering they have Astra there as well. And that combination is something to look forward to. Again, Beast is going to be playing the Breach and Jet. It's a decent combination, but Breach on Ascent, it's a difficult agent to use. Again, some of the utilities, I guess, on paper work out. Ascent is kind of small. It has a lot of small cubbies and corners, and the Breach utilities can isolate those angles. But I feel like the Sky would be my favorite initiator to be paired off with maybe a Sova, or maybe on a double initiator combo, because those two, with the information they provide, and I feel like the Sky does almost the same amount of same work with the utility that the Breach does, but it's a lot
Yeah.
more controlled. It's a lot more usable for your team in whichever scenario. But again, both have their quirks, both have their cons and pros. It all comes down to which team is going to be using it. But again, with this
Absolutely.
lineup that the set of Salt is working with, I gotta be honest, I'm not really sure with. I mean, I guess they sub. I think they subbed in a player. As we go into the match, guys, if you look, I think Astra is being played by Hats, and I guess he wasn't there on the
Yeah.
first map. So that's another thing that adds a little bit more pressure, because your team is already down a map, and you come in as a substitute, and you definitely have to deliver on the same level as the rest of the team is. But you're here, you're just new, you're not, fully adjusted to the scenario. It's a difficult situation to be in, but I believe that he can pull it off. For now, he's gonna have to wait, because the push is toward the B side, and all the players on the attack of Reckoning are pushing there.
Yeah, side of Reckoning, they're ready to go for the split execute. There are going to be two defenders on the side of Salt Esports holding off this push. Ayanku doesn't want to reveal himself just yet. There come the first shots. Here come the rotations from Salt. Can Reckoning take side control just in the nick of time and try and plant the spike? Stranger looks to take the early engagements. Beast dies by the hands of Ayanku. Stranger gets a great kill, and Evix piles on the pressure even more. All three Reckoning members entering from this lane. The flash flashes their teammate, and Stranger can try and go for easy pickings as he gets one more before he dies. Reckoning are down to one member. That is Sukuna. Trick is pushing up, and he gets tagged. Sukuna 91 HP. He can go for the right click. Can he get the shots? Oh, he cannot. Too many people to look out for. And Salt Esports get the first round win. Even though both the members were on very low HP, they still get the pistol.
Yeah, that was in the end a really close one. Both of the players were brought to quite low in HP, but the double peak just came in and there was nothing to do. I believe the key factor that led to their demise was Salt from the side of Reckoning, actually. Stranger, he was left in the side for quite a while. As we saw, I mean, my camera was fixated on him for quite a while, and he was just running around the boxes. He was avoiding bullets, dodging bullets. He was missing his shots as well, but he was still there, and his presence was enough to, buy time for the rest of the Salt Esports to come in and play for the retake. But as we see, the spike was planted. The side of Reckoning could go for a force spike, but they're going to be playing with pistols, and they're playing really aggressively down that catwalk. Entry has been denied single-handedly with a single press of a utility. Beast with his breach utility will be denying the entry, and he's going to get a frag as well. Yivix is going to be pushing through B main, getting a couple for his lane. Bondev gets a trade, but Stranger, he keeps the ball rolling in their favor. It's all on to Trist, and he's being isolated, pushed by all sides. He gets one on the Stranger. Can he get one more? Actually gets one more. 1v2, but Trick pulls out the Ghost, and the Ghost is going to be the one weapon that he cannot counter. 2-0 score line, and a really quick second round coming in. Obviously, that was the buy round for Reckoning, and they wanted to get it over. Now that they are in their own buy round, they can go for the rifles, and I guess they have an advantage now. 2-1 is very much on the cards.
Absolutely. Now the fact that Reckoning can go for the full buy, like you mentioned, they should be around good for them. Salt Esports, they can try and pick off the members of Reckoning. However, yeah, because of the gun disparity, they may be only able to get one, maybe two. They should be fine with that. It shouldn't be too bad of a thing. More so, it's just about Reckoning, and they've got to make sure that they win this round and do not throw the economy in the gutter. Other than that, things should be looking on the up and up for them. The spike is still towards B main, and no one has picked it up just yet. Trick! Oh, he gets a free kill. Not only that, he gets the rifle as well. This is what Salt love to do, and this is what they excel at. They pick off those rifles one by one. Reckoning, sure, they get more kills, but Trick is right there in attacker spawn, and no one's looking out for him. He has this Reckoning.
No way.
No.
Trist, he has to be expecting this. He knows that the player died on that top mid position. Now he spots hats, but the player who killed the Sova was a Jet, so at least he can try and predict this, but he doesn't. Trick gets the frag onto him. Now they know where he is, but BO3 2 versus 3, they need to get this frag on the Trick, but they don't. Trick gets one more, a triple kill for him, and Bondef. Oh, he's actually gonna get both. Alright, never mind. They're gonna get that round in favor, and they're gonna be getting the first round for them in this matchup. The side of Reckoning 2-1's gonna be the scoreline. Then I guess they did lose a bunch of players, so the one thing we were worried about, one thing that we thought the Reckoning should avoid at all costs is sending that economy down to the gutter. But I guess even though they lost all their players, they can still afford to go for the full buys. I think some utilities are being sacrificed, I'm not sure, but again, they're somehow managing to get all ARs in their hands. Salt as well, they are going to be able to go for the buys. Operator the hands of Tricks, and he's going to be going for a peek down mid. Does get flashed, but regardless gets a frag onto Iron Q. He's going to be trying to run away as Bondev gets a trade. Beast with another refrag, and the trades just keep on coming, brought down to a 3 versus 4 scenario in favor of Salt.
And this round is looking more favorable for Salt. Reckoning are ready to execute on the A-bomb side. They've got the Astra Stars, they've got smokes and whatnot. However, because of the man disadvantage, it's going to get a bit more difficult. Trick, his line of sight has been blocked. No, that was just to dissipate. So what exactly are Reckoning planning here? They can't go for the execution. They can try and use the Sky Seekers, or they can save that ultimate for the next round, or perhaps the next time they'll have full armor, full guns, etc, etc. So at the moment, yeah, Salt Esports are really looking certainly good. You know, they won the full buy. That is happening right now, unless Reckoning managed to do something out of the ordinary, which I really don't think will be happening. Here come the Astral Stars again. So Reckoning were trying to sell the fake. The Sky Seekers also got. So this is going to be a proper push. Reckoning are ready to execute. Stranger pushes in, trying to go for the shots. Yes, he can secure it. And there was Trick with the operator. Sukuna gets one. However, there's so many people. He closed the door, and he closes the door on his life as Beast gets the kill. So Reckoning Esports, they lost all 3 of their members just for 1 kill towards the end. Yeah, this is gonna hurt.
Yeah, that definitely hurt, and we see the tactical pause coming in as well. Reckoning, they realized that they made a pretty big mistake. That round should have gone in their favor, and I believe the reason the fake wasn't sold is because of the positioning of the Killjoy on B. The side of EFX, he was holding really close to that B main. He had utility as well, and there was not a single sign on that radar that said, or at least gave him the idea that there are players in that B side. At least, I mean, I believe with the Astra, could have put up one smoke on that B, or at least on the B main area, to at least give some more credibility to that fake. But yeah, they just cut off all noise. It does work in that case, but the Killjoy was there to provide information that, nah guys, it's probably A, you guys should just stay there, and that paid off. So it's a 3-1 score line. Buy round is gonna be absolutely wasted for the side of Reckoning. They weren't able to get as many picks as they would have liked. They weren't able to get the spike down. So now they're going to play an eco, but that's all fine. It's still 3-1, still very much early in the matchup. They can still maybe do some damage to the economy of Salt and then go in their own buy round and wreak havoc. But that's easier said than done, as they're going to be approaching this eco round. Or unless they're going for some half buys. They are. We do see a couple of Spectres popping up there, so they can do some damage with that. And I guess they won't be disappointed if they get a couple of kills here and there. Maybe get the spike down as well. Won't be a bad idea as we approach this next round. But again, Salt, they are on their full armory. All rifles, even an Odin and full armor.
That's a risky business. The
Ooh,
Odin, but
Trick.
he's just pushing up with the operator. Hats gets one. Hats gets 2 actually. 1 through the smoke as well. Can he escape? 2 HP.
No.
Okay, he dies with a shock dart of Yuvin. That's still something Reckoning wanted in this eco. They have dealt good damage. It's still a 3 versus 3, so they have gotten rid of 2 of the members. And now B-side control has been taken. There comes the lockdown. This can actually work out because the operator. Oh, this can be big. Reckoning Esports, they may just get a thrifty round. Stranger is spam firing. He has spotted Trist and he takes his head off. The spike is going to be planted. The operator should be retrieved by IonQ. And IonQ, if he manages to stay alive, which he will, he takes the op. This can be lethal. This one operator, it can be lethal. He spots one. He misses his shots. His teammate is right there. Both of them have been backed off. And here comes the counter. Killjoy lockdown. How exactly are Reckoning going to play for this? Well, they can't. They have to stay at the back to try and survive. They are pushing through. They have no other choice. UN tried his best. However, Salty Sports, thanks to that lockdown, they'll be taking the round. They can retrieve the operator and they can retrieve another win.
Or in a really horrible situation that I believe as Trist pushed into that B side. Really well, good job done by him to be able to gain that ground. He just needed to stay alive there and make this a 3 versus 3 scenario to keep the odds in their favor. But not only is he unable to get a frag onto Yuven, he's also gonna die while trying to recover back into the side. Does give his jet access to the operator, but even he couldn't. Even IonQ wasn't able to make that count. Regardless, they get the spike down, they take down a couple of players, and I'm pretty sure they won't be disappointed with that now, especially that they can go for their own buys. All ARs in their hands, but they are pushing down mid. But Trick is standing with an operator. He's going to send a blind shot through the smoke, and it's going to connect to nothingness, but at least that's going to be giving them a general idea on where the jet is. But this is a strat that a lot of jet players love to do, is rotate really fast and keep the op on the run. Instead, he's going to be missing the shot again. But now, again, more information for the set of Reckoning. Okay, the operator is now in mid. IonQ, he should be a little bit smart about this. But what he is inside the smoke, and I bet he's confused as well. The rest of the side of Reckoning are trying to push through, but IonQ loses that to Beast. But oh, Yivix, they line up for him. They don't check that angle, and that's going to cause everything to fall apart for the side of Reckoning. Can they find one more? Shock Dart misses, but the frag isn't there either. 2 versus 5 scenario, and I believe Yuven and Sukuna, they are in a really bad spot. They do have access to the spike, but it's a Beast. He's in this corner. If they don't get him, they don't get at least this one frag down mid. Oh, they do it. The shoulder of Beast has showed up to bring it to 2 versus 4, but again, not as, I mean, still not easy enough.
Silly mistakes inside of Reckoning. I'm not sure what has happened to them on Ascent. This was going to be their strong map, but now they're losing right here. And there comes the shock dot. Sukuna's pushing through, but there's so much utility to try and evade, to try and push through. Yuven gets one more. That's another. Sukuna all by himself. He dies with the hands of Fritz. Still decent end. I mean, again, Reckoning are in a bad position right now. Losing 1 to 5. They know that this is not a good spot. And they know they've got to keep pushing through. On the side of attack, yeah, one can say, you know, Ascent can be a bit defend decided, but then again, no. Reckoning should have this under control. We saw Salty Sports and we saw how their own attack on the map of Byte was statistically they're very weak. However, they still managed a 5-7 scoreline. Reckoning are nowhere close to that. This to me feels like a 9-3, perhaps an 8-4. 7-5 is not looking on the table right now because of the economy of Reckoning and because Salty Sports keep on piling the pressure. Right now, IonQ, he's got the Bladestorm and he has to make it work. There's nothing else he can do. He is pushing through in the bomb site just completely all by himself. He dashes in, doesn't spot anyone. Yivix spots him. There go the blades. Can IonQ land the kill? No, he cannot. Yivix gets one. Yivix gets another. And he's still alive inside the bomb site. And here come the reinforcements. Salty Sports have the entire bomb site under control as the Odin shows its wrath from Stranger and Trist. Well, he's left all by himself.
Stranger with the Odin getting a triple kill, and I'm gonna be honest, the Odin's a weapon we all love to hate and hate to love, but it doesn't really matter. It's in the Valorant armor, it's in there available to buy, and Stranger, he's using it to its full potential. He's gonna get a triple kill, and and again, it's the solo players. The solo players just love to play these LMGs. They love to play these wall bangable angles. They love to play off the recon that gives them information and allows them to go for these wall bangs. And so far, Stranger, that is paying off for him. He's getting those frags. He's gonna be second in the scoreboard for his team. Same amount of frags as Yevix, who stopped fragging. But yeah, the contribution is there. Again, it's gonna be a buy run for the set of Reckoning. 6-1's already done. The best they can do is a 6-6, and I believe it's not the easiest scoreline that they can achieve. Tricks again trying to go a little bit aggressive, but he's going to be pushed back, and Bondev lands a nice headshot onto him. That's going to be one player down, 4 versus 5, and a lot of pressure on this A-side and 9Q. He's trying to go for the entry, has some information on the players, but instead he's going to be falling back. I guess the rotation is being done, but I think Hats, he heard all that. He heard all that noise, and he's like, okay, guys, maybe we should bolster up B, because I'm hearing a lot of footsteps leaving A, and if they're not going A, where are they going? They're going B. And that's what exactly the rotations are going to be doing. We're going to see
Oh,
the
it's a
breach
fake.
going to be, but oh, it's a fake actually. Yes.
Exactly, the Trailblazer goes on B, the Killjoy's on B as well. Exactly, and there's the Cosmic Divide. I think the Cosmic Divide may sell it a bit. However, they have side control. Reckoning completely have taken side control. Hats, he can push up. Oh, he spots one, he gets one. This is big, he's got to stay alive. Hats has to stay alive. No more mistakes from his side. He dies to Sukuna, still he got one. That's fine now. Changes here with the Odin. Yeah, the spy still hasn't gone down. It was going to go down. The Odin couldn't really do much against it. Yivix is present. Beast on A main, near towards A main, as Bondef is pressurizing from that angle, but even he doesn't live to see the light of the day. And Trist also falls. What seemed like an amazing execute from Reckoning has yet again been shut down by Salt Esports.
I have no idea. I think the main thing that went wrong was Hats getting that first frag, and despite that, they sold the fake quite well. I don't know if the Cosmic Divide usage was completely necessary. There was one player holding onto the side, but do you really want to use that one ultimate just for that one singular player? I don't know. I'm not who am I, which is I'm just a caster here, but again, I guess that sort of gave the information away, and the rest of the players on B were just like booking it back to A as soon as they saw that ultimate and how it was positioned to give the advantage to the players entering A. And again, Spike not being down there, Spike not being planted, despite them having a lot of time, is going to be another thing that possibly gave that round away. They were able to go to the postman early on. As we see, they have a couple of ultimates that would have helped them out in the postman quite a bit. So that could be the 6-2 round, but instead it's going to be a 7-1. And not in favor of Reckoning. They are definitely not looking as strong as we thought, at least as strong as they were a couple of days back on the map of Ascent, which is surprising because they look really confident. They beat a team that is placed second on the scoreboards in Group A, side of FSESPORTS. They're not a team to be, fiddled with, and they definitely were able to defeat them quite in a quite fashionable manner. But it's not happening today. Surprising. I'm not sure if it's inconsistency or if maybe the side of Salt just had a better read on them. It's still unclear to me what's the exact reason, but regardless, Reckoning, they're in a bad spot right now, and I'm pretty sure they're not going to go into the second half with a good score line.
Yeah, that is the thing for the side of Reckoning right here. They just try and salvage this. I mean, again, even 9-3, it's looking like it can happen. 9-3 looks like the most rational one. But if Salt Esports keep playing how they are, 10-2 is looking like what's going to happen. And it just makes me think that Reckoning are going to lose this map badly. And it may just affect how they'll be playing on Split. Because if I'm being honest, I can already see Salt Esports one way or another taking the map of Ascent. This is going to be the classic case in the best of threes where you win your opponent's map pick, but when it comes to your own map pick, well, yeah, kind of sorta, you just lose that out. I don't know why it happens. Nobody knows why it happens. It's just a Valorant phenomenon.
It just happens, and we're gonna have to deal with it. Both teams are gonna have to deal with it. The best you can do is try and fight against it, and for now, Reckoning, they aren't successful in doing so. Again, there has been a technical issue with some of the players, so we're going to be waiting for that to be resolved. But one more issue that I feel like the side of Reckoning are facing is having a tough time dealing with this utility. And again, the only utility that the side of Salt really have to deny this is the Killjoy and the Astra. And I gotta be honest, they're not really playing together in a site. And if the Killjoy and Astra play together in a singular site, that is something really difficult to push through. They're playing quite separately, and I feel like a team on the level of Reckoning should be able to push through either of them while they're solo holding a site, but they're having a lot of trouble doing that. And by the time they're done breaking through the utility, guess what? All the players are here, and they're gonna be, playing on the post plants and not allowing you to even get the spike down. And that's gonna be a big issue for them in these next few rounds. And I'm pretty sure if even if they figure out a way to break through that, even if they figure out a way to counter the Astra or the Killjoy, I think it's a little bit too late. And I mean, the best they can do right now, I guess, is a 7-5, which is still very unlikely. As you said, CC, I believe 10-2 or 9-3 should be the scoreline we end up with. That is considering even the buy rounds, reckoning they aren't able to, get the most value out of these weapons, because the economy of Salt is at such a state that even if they take down 4 players, it doesn't really matter. They can go for the buys again, and reckoning they're pushed back to an eco. So they're just fighting an unwinnable fight right now. The best they can do is get as many rounds as possible as we enter into the next round, and try and play the next half the best they can. And if that doesn't go in their favor, well, there's still the decider map to work with.
Yeah, at this point, Reckoning should look forward to split and, think about that, because Ascent is looking highly unlikely. EVX peeks again. Beast gets the kill, believe it or not, as he peeked side by side. And again, Salt Esports just get the opening kill without any repercussions whatsoever, without anything coming from Reckoning. That's another kill. Sure, Trick dies. And sure, Reckoning, they may not have the strongest fight, but yeah, they've got to stay together. Try to go for it. EVX just finishes things off completely, and before you know it, within a matter of 20-30 seconds, the round comes to an end. So Salt Esports, they take another win. Reckoning, yeah, it's looking like Ascent is a done deal. Unless something happens at the side swap, unless a complete miracle takes place, everything is stacked against them, and split may just be the way to go. For the side of Salt, well, they can bask in this glory for longer. They can, look forward to this, and they can just yeah, they can essentially build that confidence and try whatever they want to, and essentially have that communication ready for them. It's going to be another full buy versus full buy, potentially perhaps the last one we'll be seeing in this half. So Reckoning, they've got to try and make the best out of it.
Indeed they do, but it's easier said than done. Their momentum is not going to be feeling well. The strats aren't working, and it's when the momentum dies, the confidence dies. The team also slowly starts crumbling apart and giving away frags, losing gunfights that they would have won any other day of the week, of the month, of the year. Like that, a jiggle peek coming in. There was no utility to follow that through. At least maybe jump up on that wall and try and jiggle and get information if a player's holding that or not, holding on to wine. Instead, Juven's just gonna go for a dry jiggle, and that's gonna be an easy shot for Trick. And he's gonna get the first strike of this round. Ultimates do come up, the Seekers, and the entry is trying to be done. Trick still under in that hell position. As you see, INQ pushing onto him. Stranger trying to deny their entry, but he's gonna fail. Meanwhile, Hassie's gonna get the frags. But the side of Reckoning, they can easily bulldoze their way into the site when they take out their initial operator. Sukuna finds one more onto Beast and brings it all down to Yevix. Again, it's gonna be an 8-2. So Yevix, their economy is pretty decent as well. He can try to go for some frags. The lockdown will cause him to fall back. I believe. I mean, there was only one player. I don't know if the lockdown was completely necessary, but it's done over with regardless. So Yevix maybe do some damage, maybe take down as many players as you can, because you still have better money.
Yeah, Salt Esports, their economy, it's not a big concern right now for their side. They just have to figure out on getting as many rounds as possible. EVX speaks, oh, he gets the run and gun kill onto ENIGMA. What he doesn't know is the other two members, they're on a main. So pushing through for that's going to be difficult. On the spike, goes to the peak, he gets another headshot. Okay, he may not win the round, but he gets rid of 2 members of Reckoning. That's still good. And Sukuna dies to the spike. So this is big. This was big for the side of Salt Esports, because again, Reckoning is economy. It may not be the best. It
definitely did some damage. They can go for rifles again, but it's half armor on all these players. Only INQ is able to go for that full armor. But again, the side of Salt has so much to work with. They have better guns, they have all Vandals, and they have 3 ultimates. 3 absolutely huge ultimates to deny the entry or play the retake as well. So they can use this however they want to. And they still have the advantage. An 8-2 scoreline, possibly a 9-2 And I guess the prediction might be right for once, and 10-2 might be showing up if the side of Reckoning can gain one more round. And looks like this might be that round as UN finds the opening frag onto Hats. The controller being out, once the entry is done, I feel like holding onto the sights won't be that hard. Now
Yeah.
Stranger, he's going to be having to fall back because of the Sky Flash. And right now I believe Salt, they are a bit confused on where they are, as we see 3 players on A and 1 on B. But Yivix, have a lot of utility to work with. So maybe it's not a bad idea he's holding it on his own.
That's the thing. And the spike still being towards attacker spawn. Oh, UN, he's all alone. I think they can see, yeah, they have spotted him now, but he has spotted them as well. And he's got the support of IonQ from B main looking towards him. So it's going to be a standoff right now. No one's going to be pushing through. Salt Esports, no, they're the ones who have to wait. And Reckoning have to make the initial. They have to make the first move. So they can just wait for it. Everyone is lining up towards B main. Everyone is ready, and it's all going to be Yivix all by himself on the B bomb side. The gravity well acting on him. They don't know about him just yet. He peeks, he doesn't get any kills. This can be big for the side of Reckoning Esports. They have side control, and they can look for more, and they can make it to a post plan. Actually, they will actually put it to a post plan, and Salt Esports are the ones who have the man disadvantage right now.
That infamous angle outside market, Andrew is able to exploit that and get one. He has support from B main and site as well, so he can play guard comfortably, holding on to that position, as now he knows both players are in that CT position. He's going to be trying to go for a flank, and the side of Salt, they should read this. They are looking in that direction, but here comes Trist to distract them, and IonQ doesn't even need to land a single bullet as Trist gets all the frags for himself. It's going to be an 8-3 scoreline, and Salt, again, their economy is still in a decent state. They can again go for buys, or can they? Actually, no. A few players are going to have to hold back on their buys, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, I certainly didn't see this coming, but I guess Salt wasn't able to see this coming either. They can try and, lack in some cases some armor. I don't even know if Hats can buy a rifle. He's actually going to drop the Spectre in the end, so all good. But yeah, the economy is going to be a little bit on the FE side, so they're going to have to be going in lacking some utilities, but as they're Reckoning, they are in the best situation possible. All armor, full armor, and oh, Trix, he's gonna walk into the firing squad. They're all holding there. I just realized they're all holding into their position.
Yeah.
Hats only has a sheriff to work with, and they're trying to gun him down. They're trying to chase him down. He has to run back into the site, and he's gonna be trying to fall back to that tree position. IonQ clearing out why no one's there. He's gonna get healed up, and Bondev, he has to be careful. He's low on HP, but considering he's the Sky, he's the flasher, and he's a source of information as well. That needs to be preserved as Triss gets one more onto Beast, and looks like the B site's opened up, and Yivix is like, oh no, we gotta get there. And who's gonna make it there in time? The defenders or the attackers? I guess it's the defenders.
Yeah, looks like that right now. Sure, the defenders may be on the bomb side, but the attackers, they certainly have such a good advantage in terms of the man advantage that they have, and they can pile on more pressure. And the thing is, it's only Yivix to deal with all that, just like it was in the previous round. And in the previous round, he completely died. Now he can stay alive to use his Killjoy lockdown, and that's exactly what he'll be doing. The lockdown has been initiated. Not a lot to try and destroy it. No Hunter's Fury, nothing of that sort. There goes the shock dart, and the shock dart actually gets rid of Yivix. Not only that, but it also destroys the second shock dart, destroys the lockdown. So this is great for Reckoning Esports. They've planted the spike. They have taken side control, and this half looks like it'll be ending in an 8-4 manner for sure.
Definitely a far better scoreline than we hoped for, and let's be predicted. And I guess the side of Reckoning will be happy with this as well. Stranger, he's right in front of the door. He's facing the door of death right now as 2 players are holding on, but 2 players are on the opposite side as well. They're gonna go in together, but it's gonna be Hats getting both the frags, but IonQ from behind flicks on and he gets the shot onto Hats. He's gonna be bringing the 8-4 scoreline that we predicted, and the side switch comes in. Now here comes the interesting part of the game. How will these teams translate their previous performances into the side switch? Again, attack and defense are completely different things, completely different mind system mentalities in the players. How are they going to be switching that to this new situation that they're in? And I guess the first, I mean, again, the pistol round, you can't really base a match on that pistol round. But again, the side of Reckoning, they need this pistol round because they're behind 4 rounds. They need every round they can get. And again, this pistol is crucial for them to get that early economy advantage. And through that, they're going to get that one more round through their buy round. So an 8-6 possibility is something that they definitely don't want to pass up. And that starts with them winning this pistol round at the side of Salt. They're going to be pushing this A main. And there's only few players holding on to that. So if they can push in aggressively enough, entry could be done and post plant might be begun earlier than intended.
Certainly is a possibility. They have to look for the kills. But however, where they're looking to push right now, to A bomb side, there are plenty of Reckoning members. And yet again, mid is completely ignored from both of the teams we can see. Pizza market, the deep mid area has completely been overlooked. I'm not completely sure why this is happening. Reckoning in their pistol execute, they went for like a split mid to B push. Here Salt Esports have literally, both of the teams have ignored that. It's a part of the map that hasn't even been touched or walked on as of yet, and I'm not sure why. Trick is going to be pushing all by himself. Sukuna sees one, however he dies. IonQ, he gets another kill, drops the spike. However, Stranger is going to be ripping his head apart. So Reckoning Esports are back onto 2 members. Salt as attackers, they have the side control with only a single casualty. Make that 2 casualties right now, but Reckoning still have so much work to do. They still have to push through and try and kill the members of Salt Esports, which I don't think will be happening. Yuven is all by himself. He has 1 shock dart, he gets 1 headshot, but he ends up getting the same fate for himself.
9-4 is the scoreline, and 10-4 is definitely on the cards because the economic advantage going in favor of the side of Salt. They can go for the buy rounds, they can go for the Spectres, and it certainly gives them an edge against these pistols that the side of Reckoning are stuck with. So 10-4, I am definitely pretty sure it's going to be happening. Again, unless miracles do exist, and miracles might happen. So that being said, if it does happen, then it's gonna be really interesting to see. But despite that happening, I feel like 9-5 still a really difficult scoreline to come back from. But let's see how this plays out as BC Trick again leading the charge. I really love when these Jets take initiative, because none of the Jets in my ranked matches do. They just stand behind and watch the rest of us die. All good. It's not going to happen with these players. They're going to be taking the duties quite responsibly, and it's going to be the side of Salt being able to plant the spike, and the post plan begins. It's a 5 versus 5 again. All pistols in the hands of the hands of Reckoning. All right.
That was a massacre.
Complete and utter chaos. They all surround. I believe it was Trick stuck in that corner in the door. They just like swarm him like little minions, and in the end, they did sort of huddle into one corner, allowing the side of Salt to just spray them down. So, interesting stuff happening in the last round in the A side. But yeah, it went as predicted, 10-4 in favor of Salt, and buy round now in for the side of Reckoning. So, they might make it 10-5, but again, Salt, they still have a couple of handles to work with. If Stranger and Hats can perform some hero plays, that might damage the economy quite a bit.
Can happen. Certainly a possibility. As Trick right now again, he's going for the play. The same play he made earlier again. The entry frag, the dive agent. This is the pure, most basic Valorant theory as a dive agent. He takes side control. He lets his teammates fall in back behind him as well. Side control has been taken by Salt, but look at Reckoning. They're going to enter in a massive wave, and then they're looking to apply the pressure on Salt. Salt may have side control. They may have planted the spike, but they have to deal with 5 members of Reckoning, pushing them on their necks, just completely not letting any pressure pass off. The only thing is, for the side of Reckoning, time is running out, and it is very valuable here with the 5 versus 5 scenario being set up. IonQ, he looks to take the first gunfight. He loses the first gunfight of this round. He win, although he gets a trade. Sukuna still looking for more. Reckoning are looking better. However, Salt are trying to reply back their best. The time is running out. Reckoning have to act right now, and it's all down to 1 member. It's a 1 versus 1, and Tricks, he gets the final kill. And that's it. The person who entered the bomb site will be the only person leaving the bomb site. Trick, he made it possible for himself. And Salt Esports get their 11th round on board. So they are again looking very solid right here on the map of Ascent.
They are 11-4, and if I'm being honest, I mean, the winning that bonus round is going to be such a huge momentum boost, and not only because they were able to pick up the weapons, but they're definitely going to be feeling their aim quite a bit, because they know that they didn't have the best of weapons. The odds were stacked against them, and they pulled through, and that's going to give them a boost in their confidence moving into the next rounds. And again, Reckoning, they're not going to be feeling the economic boost either because they are going to be going for some half buys. And the side of Salt should read this and they should try and exploit that. And they certainly will, as the first frag goes in favor of in favor of Salt, taking down INQ, the primary duelist for the side of Reckoning. The only duelist actually, as Yevix gets one more onto Bondef, and entering the B side is done, just like that. I didn't even realize that they were that potent into the site. They're able to completely empty it out and get the spike down as we enter the post plan. 3 versus 5, and as the rotation comes to market, they have no idea where Yevix is situated, so I don't know what's gonna happen. They are able to push them back, but the breach flashes will push them back as well, so right now no progress is made on the retake. Time is ticking away. What are they gonna do?
Yeah. That's the thing. Again, Reckoning Esports, they're just dying by the numbers falling by the plenty, falling in multiples. And again, they can't really do much. Tris, he gets one kill with the judge, but while he had the turret in his hand trying to place that, well, yeah, Beast placed his life down in hell. So Salt Esports, they get match point and they are well on their way to take the map of Ascent. The only thing is how quickly can they close things off. Reckoning and all the Reckoning fans just look at Split. Split is going to be the final map of Reckoning in the Gauntlet. So, you know, it's great that they should give us a proper send-off until we see them the next time in Season 4 and after they start registering and stuff, because again, it's very difficult for their side, you know, the fact that they have to deal with the qualifiers yet again and with them being relegated and all. But yeah, they have the capability to get up back again. Trick in this case just all by himself pushing through the blade storm, not the smartest of ideas, doesn't land in the best of results. There go the aftershock. Sukuna's right there, even he loses his life. The members of both the teams are dying. There goes the hunt to Sphiri. Will it be getting a kill? No, it doesn't get a kill, only tags a few members here and there. The lockdown has been initiated by Reckoning. The spike is going to be planted. However, how exactly is Yevix going to be removed? Oh, the spike has been destroyed. Hats and Stranger, both of them get a kill. And before you know it, it's all down to Trist.
Placing swamp grenade.
Stuck in the smoke, he's gonna have to push through, and there are 2 players inside. He gets one, but Stranger from inside of B main gets the shot in, and that's gonna be 13-4. The round goes in favor. Sorry, the match goes in favor for the Assault Esports, and well, certainly not. Certainly didn't go the way we expected. If we're honest, because they looked so good in that in the last matchup when they played in Ascent, and I sort of expected them to repeat that performance because obviously they figured out a groove to play on Ascent, that is, you know, switching up the strategies and all. But again, they left a lot of avenues untouched, like that mid. Again, both the esports did that, but I feel like the side of Reckoning, they could have exploited that so much more on their attacking half, which they didn't, and that kind of sucks because with that level of aggression, with that agent composition, I feel like pushing down mid would provide them a lot of you know, advantages going into some of these scenarios. So at least even if it wasn't a victory for them, it could have been a closer match. They could still feel good about themselves. Like, okay, it was a close one. We just need to keep this same gameplay, same mentality. We just need to land some more shots. And speaking of the shots, we're gonna see what shots who landed exactly in the match highlights and the replays. And if I'm being honest, I really am not. I don't really feel like Salt Esports did something extremely, you know, extraordinary with their utility or strats. It's just like some of the gun plays weren't in their favor, and overall winning rounds, they had the better economy, and they just kept playing that economic advantage for the majority of the match, which gave them this big gap. And some of these mistakes, like obviously leaving the spike behind, you don't want to do that, especially when there's not many players watching the flank. So maybe keep that spike on you. Mistakes like that, and I mean losing gunfights like that to Salt, I believe, was maybe the prime reason, in my opinion, for the side of Reckoning.
Yeah, there were so many silly mistakes. You know, we may end up seeing it in the replays as well. So many times that they just lined up. This was an example of that. Yevix gets one, oh sorry, Beast gets one, and then Beast was still playing in the same angle, and I think he ended up getting another kill for himself. Yes, he did, and then he just escaped without any rhyme reason, without any repercussions. And Reckoning couldn't do anything about it. Granted, in this round, they didn't have the best of guns, a semi-buy with SMGs and stuff, but this was the theory. This was the case with almost so many of the rounds where Reckoning were giving away kills, especially early on. They just couldn't seem to convert those kills, the few amount of kills that they got into round wins. They were just losing and losing. At the tail end of the first half, they still won or two, three rounds here and there, which was nice. But it still wasn't enough. 4 rounds towards the end, and that meant that Salt Esports, they just had easy pickings once the next half started, and they could secure the win, which, well, they ended up doing. And now we go into the decider map, which if Salt Esports win, they can try and take the spot in spot number 4, and they can take that position because they have played fewer games than their opponents in Group A.
Yeah, winning this next map will definitely be helping them out quite a bit in that case. But again, Reckoning, they also don't want to give that away quite easily, because again, I feel like even if they lost this matchup, there has to be, at least I hope there's something switching in their mind, like, okay, I believe like us, they expect it to be strong in Ascent as well, and they're thinking like, okay, we should have won this map, guys. We know what our mistakes were. We definitely should not give this away on the next one. Again, reminding you, this doesn't really matter because they are gonna be still in the bottom half of the scoreboard, and they are definitely not having any chance going. Definitely not having some chance to go into that go into the playoffs after the group stages end. So they're just all playing to improve their team, improve whatever weaknesses they had, and so far it's not really it is paying off, but this definitely, I feel like it would pay off a lot more with this map, when it would at least give them confidence that, okay, this Ascent map, it's definitely something we got in the bag. It's definitely something that we can consistently win in or consistently perform in. But no, it was quite the opposite. They fragged out in that first match, and now in this match, they are doing quite the opposite. They were making mistakes. They weren't, exploiting all the possibilities, all the possible angles, and I feel like they weren't able to read some of the really very nonchalant strats of Salt.
Yeah.
And the fact that Salt were able to use those really, one-dimensional strats against the side of Reckoning just shows that, okay, they need to be a little bit more diverse, like they were on that first matchup. They switched things up so much, and they just didn't today. So I feel like if they followed that strat, maybe things would happen differently. But this is what we're having to deal with right now. It's gonna be 13-4 again, and so we're gonna be moving on to Split.
Yeah, 13-4. Previously was 13-10 as well when Reckoning ended up winning. But Split, that's a can of something else entirely. No one knows what to expect there. For now, we can still go over Ascent. And I think Assault Esports as well, they were doing great for themselves. We talked about Reckoning, we talked about their shortcomings and their mistakes. But Assault Esports, they were on top of the game right now. They were absolutely lovely with their performances, their individual performances, team-wise, their coordination was nice. Yeah, at times there were parts of the maps, like, again, I'm still not sure what's going on with mid and why these teams don't want to utilize that area, especially considering it leads into defender spawn and there's so many avenues which you can try from mid. But other than that, great stuff from Salt Esports. Whether it was their attack or it was their defense, they were in control. A few rounds here and there which went in the hands of Reckoning, but I don't think Salt will be dissatisfied. On the contrary, they'll be very happy with this result, knowing they lost on the map of Byte. They had a lot of pressure coming into Ascent. However, they delivered under pressure, and now it's all equal for both Reckoning and Salt going into the map of Split. Both of them know what's on the line. Both of them are playing for different things. For Reckoning and for all of their fans, this will be the final time we'll be seeing them in season 3 of Gauntlet. So they have to give a proper send off. For Salt Esports, we will be seeing them in the future in the regular season, maybe even the main event. That depends on how they'll be playing, and that depends if they can get the next map under control, and if they can exit and finish this best of 3 with 2 points to their name to try and take the 4th position and overtake one of their opponents. That is going to be the major story going into the map of Split. I hope everyone is ready for it right now as well. There's just so much to talk about. And speaking of so much to talk about, I've got to say that looking at the performance is absolutely insane. All of these players, they have been giving consistent performances. From the side of Reckoning, yeah, IonQ, I expected a bit more from him. Sukuna getting 14 kills. He was on the players highlight a few days ago in the previous match of Reckoning. But yeah, IonQ just not having the best of performances right now.
Yeah, definitely. He played pretty well on that first map, but yeah, he definitely needed to show up here on in this second map of Ascent as well, especially considering how potent the Jet is and how potent he is in this map of Ascent. At least the past few matches I have seen him in. Meanwhile, on the side of Salt Esports, pretty consistent fragging from all the players against Stranger on 20 frags, but right behind him is Yevix with 19, and the rest of the players are pretty close up as well. So yeah, consistency was the name of the game for Salt. And by consistency, I didn't really see, like, again, the strats were great. Again, as you said, the coordination was great, but it wasn't like something extraordinary. So that definitely just said that they have room for improvement, and I saw that improvement going on every round and round, because sometimes they sort of repeated the strats, but they worked on improvements. Like they were pushing down mid. Last time they didn't really have many players watching down that top mid angle, but this time they had players like that. So little stuff like that helps the team in the long run. I feel like Salty Sports, that improvement worked out really well for them, and that allowed them to get this map. But yeah, with that said, we're going to be moving on to Split, and I'm really excited for that because both these teams now have everything on the wire. They don't want to they don't want to lose anything at all. They want to give it their 110%. So I'm excited for it. Hopefully you're excited for it as well, CCB.
Yeah. Absolutely. But before split, that is the thing. Again, this was a match very, very intense. Right now, everyone watching, take a breather, take a break. We'll be back as well. Until then, enjoy the highlights and enjoy the ads from our lovely sponsors. So, we'll be right back with map number 3.
from the legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LG Ultragear presents TC Gauntlet Season 3, powered by Crucial. We are back with the third and final map for today between Reckoning Esports and Salt Esports. It's gonna be the map of Split, and we've been through two grueling maps. The teams have been through two grueling maps, and it's not been an easy day so far. If I'm being honest, it's not the way I wanted to start my afternoon, but so far I'm not super disappointed either, because it's been an entertaining couple of matches, and hopefully the last
Absolutely.
one will be as entertaining as the past two.
You know, I was a bit sad today that we only have one game from the Gauntlet, no Group B match today. We obviously, we have the match from Showdown, so again, make sure you are subscribed to the TEC channel. However, I was a bit sad that no Group B match. However, I think this match and this BO3 has made up for it plentiful. And now going into the map of Split, I think it will only deliver far, far more, because Split is going to be a completely new ball game for both the teams. Salt Esports, they haven't played this map too much. It's one of their lower played maps, with the exception of Breeze and Fracture. At least how recently we've seen Salt Esports, they haven't played Split a lot. Just 2-3 times in recent weeks and months. Reckoning as well, a similar story. Not too many times have we seen them play this map. So it's granted why these teams have chosen that as a decider. They don't know what's going to happen. They're just going to go on their strongest foot forward. Whatever helps them secure the win, whatever helps them, and whatever tried and tested strategy they have, that's absolutely what they'll be applying applying right here and hoping that it gives them that one final map win. For Reckoning, this will be the final map that they'll be playing. So they want to end on an absolutely good note. For Salt Esports, well, they want to make this not one of their final maps. They want to go into the main event, and that's why all to play for their side as well.
Yeah, a lot on stake for either side here, and I feel like that both sides will be giving it their all to, sort of bring it to their end and try and achieve what they're trying to achieve in this map. But we are going to be moving on to the agent selection screen to figure out what agents the side are going to be picking for this final map, because we're not. I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't really have an idea on how this match is going to end up, especially considering how the last couple of maps have ended up. It's hard to come into a prediction. I mean, Beast was hovering over that chamber over here. If only, I mean, I don't know if chamber is actually allowed in the gauntlet because it did
Not for
come up.
now, no.
Yeah, it
No
isn't.
competitive play.
Isn't. So, but yeah, regardless, we are going to be still seeing some interesting agents coming up there. Looks like the side of Reckoning Esports are going to be going back to the double duelist composition. This time they're going to have two sentinels in the meantime. Trist is going to be playing the Sage. Yuvin's going to be playing the Killjoy. At least he's hovering over it. Meanwhile, Salt, they're going to be going with a single duelist and I believe a double initiator as well. Or it's a double sentinel actually. Looks like the sentinels are the ones that are ruling this map of split. Meanwhile, I mean, Yivix is only going to be playing the race, so I think in the first time for quite a while, I'm not seeing a Jet
Yeah.
on a theme. And
Choose
I'm
your
not
agent.
sure if I'm gonna be like super like pleasantly surprised about that, or am I
The
gonna be sort of
Jet
shocked about that? It's kind of weird.
the jet on a map like Split, I think Raze is given more preference. Not having a jet, it's uncommon, but it's not completely very rare. What is very rare is no initiators for the side of Reckoning
Oh
Esports. They're going
yes.
to go for a double duelist, double sentinel, one controller, the one Astra. No initiators. That to me is what icks me. I'm like, what's going on? Because on one hand, sure, yeah, you do have two duelists, you do have sentinels, you can defend, but on the other, on a map like Split, you need a breach. No breach has been picked, and we saw a breach being chosen by Salt Esports on both the previous maps, but the map where breach is one of the most picked agents, no, he's not there. Not even from the side of Reckoning. They didn't even bother with a Sova or a Sky. So what exactly are Reckoning planning here? Is it something completely out of the ordinary? Is it something completely new? Or I'm not completely sure. The only way which we can figure out what Reckoning are planning is to well jump into the game and see the action live in front of our screen. So Kirito, why wait? But let's jump in. Let's start off with the pistol round, and let's start off with the decider map of this best of three. As right here, the pistol round will be commencing in another 10 seconds.
That'll work.
Yeah, it's all gonna come down to this map, and it's all gonna come down to these interesting lamps. And again, I'm really surprised no initiator against Salt going with the Sky, which I feel like I would primarily go with the breach, then maybe work with the Sky or something else. But look at this, a blood but about mid is gonna going down. Stranger with the first back on Trist. Trades are gonna come in. It's gonna be Hats finding one more and a second one to break the cycle. Can he get more? He will get more. A triple kill. Can he get a 4K? He will get a 4K.
Oh my god!
Well, okay, Hats. He just needed to be. He just needed some adjusting on the first map. He just needed to get used to the vibe of this match, which is absolute intensity, and he's gonna be bringing the heat back on this first round of the third and final map. Getting a 4K early on, bringing the economic advantage to his team, and allowing them to go for the Spectres.
Yeah, that was just something completely no one was expecting. Hats right there. When IonQ had his eyes like on him and he had his crosshairs, he just missed his shots. Hats turned around, headshotted him, then killed the person near Watermelon Market, then here deep towards B lobby. I mean, just so much was happening. What a performance, the hero play that helped secure Salt Esports the first round, and now they can capitalize off of that and go for more kills. Already, they have 2 kills. Yevix is pushing through. Yeah, the Spectre is just far more mightier than the pistols that Reckoning have to offer, and that's going to be a very quick, done and dusted, flawless round. Just absolutely very fast. Kind of like, all the RAM and all the NVMe SSDs from our primary sponsor, Crucial.
Yeah, very fast indeed. They're gonna be loading into your games no time, just like we're gonna be moving on to the next map. And it's gonna be a buy round for the side of Reckoning Esports. They finally have some weapons to work with. But again, Salt Esports, they did win a flawless last round. Again, that might be a sort of a curse hidden as a blessing, because okay, we won a flawless, nice, we got a lot of money, but again, we still have all of our guns, guys. So maybe if a player died, they would pick up a Vandal or a Phantom or two. that's not happening. But again, I'm pretty sure they won't mind playing these bonus rounds because that means more money for them. Instead of the Reckoning now are going to be trying to push down mid. Oh, Raze is going to be caught off. VALOR has to dash away, satchel away actually, to a safer position. And it's going to be sending a counter raid. Will be pushing Bond F away, and he's going to be taking his original position, but he got spotted. The shoulder will be showing, and he's going to be sending some satchels his way, doing some damage. The Trailblazer comes in, doesn't spot the Raze, but they still should know because the satchels were thrown. They weren't thrown out of midair. They definitely came out of a Raze, and they should know that. Yuven in the meantime trying to find an opening into the side of A main, but will be denied. Trick is gonna be trying to play some tricks with him as he's gonna be playing the smoke criminal, but a bot has been placed. Will be denying him any chance to push through. He has to fall back. Now the entry towards B side is being done. Sukuna with the opening frag of the matchup, getting it onto Beast, disabling all the Killjoy utilities, and that makes things a lot easier for them to walk in. Now they can all sort of rendezvous around that B side to push in and get these two players who are holding on to it, because the rest of them, they're stuck on A, and if they're able to isolate these frags, which they are, Sukuna gets one, but Stranger holding strong, he gets a triple kill, eliminates all the players pushing in except for IonQ, brings it to a 2 versus 2 winnable scenario.
Absolutely it is. It definitely is right now. Yuven places the turret. It will be spotting a few of the members. It has been destroyed. Trick wide peeking, and he gets both headshots. Again, great spray control. Stranger and Trick all on their shoulders. Salt Esports win what was supposed to be their bonus round. They had Spectres, they had half armor, a few of them, and they still take the win against Reckoning. This is not the start Reckoning would have liked. You know, the pistol round, okay, the anti-eco, well, Reckoning were bound to lose that because of the gun disparity, but this, Reckoning had all the chances here. They were looking strong because they got rid of the Killjoy. Executing on the side was so much more easier, like you mentioned, Kirito. But then they just faltered, and then they just completely fell apart. And now look at Reckoning's economy. It's in the shambles. They're going to go for a semi-buy, half armor, SMGs, a few upgraded pistols here and there. But that is no match for the rifles full armor that Salt Esports have. So best case scenario for Reckoning is get a few kills and pop some heads, which Yivix, he will be doing that right now. He doesn't get a headshot, still gets the kill, throws his pain shells to delay the attackers even further as Beast peeks wide. He sees one of them. This time though, the Sheriff is mightier, and Stranger is back up again alongside his teammate Trick. The duo that won Salt the round previously are the duo that helped them win this one as well. And that's another round done and dusted.
Yeah, I guess the side of Reckoning, they just want to get it over with. They still had a pretty decent attempt at the push, though. They definitely sort of tried to bulldoze their way in. Play off the the jet dashes and the Raze satchels do the entry. That didn't really work out, but it's all fine. 4-0 scoreline. They now have the buys, the weapons to work with, but so do the side of Salt. That's what winning 4 rounds in a row in the beginning of the match will do to you. Not only will you have a pretty hefty economy, you're gonna have weapons to work with as well. So it's gonna be a gun round regardless, and a lot more in stake for the side of Reckoning as we move on to this round. As we see, they're trying to push down mid. You can get some eyes on there. Yeah, there we go. You can see that the push has been delayed. The wall is a little bit passive, but Sukuna opening frag onto hats. The Astra will be destroyed early on, taken off the board, and the wall will be still standing. It's a passive side. It's a passive wall. So as soon as they go for the pick, they're just gonna see this wall, and they're unable to break through it. And 2 players on top. Definitely not something they want to face. But again, the spikes in sewers, just saying, I know they can't listen to me, but spikes in sewers, don't want to repeat of what happened on that one round in Ascent.
Yeah.
It's all good. Yuven's gonna pick it up. But again, that does delay some time though. Picking up the spike, as we see the flash comes in. If they had picked up the spike and left towards B main, the flash would not have given them any information. And who knows, that could have made all the difference. But now they're executing the B side. Yevix is still in that backside. Can he get one? Gets one, but the trade is there. And wait.
Stranger?
Okay, I don't know, but Stranger's there in the backside trying to deny that the Killjoy utilities are being there to be preparing for the post-plant. Spike low down, 2 versus 2 scenario. Showstopper activated, shoots it, gets one, 1 versus 3, gets one, 1 versus 1. And, okay,
oh my god!
no way. No way does he win. How?
Stranger, all headshots from that. He was the first person out of the three from Salt Esports, that Reckoning Esports. They saw him. They knew he was right there behind the boxes, and still he clutched it for his team somehow through sheer miracle. He has been hitting his aim labs. He has been hitting all of those shots. Let's see them back up in the replay as well. He spotted the raise. The
It's
raise
the
went
raid.
down. That's another headshot. And then all the Killjoy behind the turret, even though he was completely vulnerable, Killjoy wasn't. Stranger manages to secure that. Again, like I said, Aimlab on point. As all of you watching, you can have it on point as well, completely free of cost on Steam. You can download and you can jump in right now. Start improving your aim. As Reckoning Esports, they need to start improving their position and the scenario that they found themselves in. 0 to 5. I get that, split can be defender
Oh
favored
no.
heavily, but not this heavily. This is just looking like Ascent all over again, and Reckoning just cannot find any sort of footing.
Is it because of the lack of an initiator?
Could be. Oh my god.
Just that lack of that one flash or that one piece of information that an initiator provides. They are in such a bad state. The flash comes in, Stranger, he knows where he is and he gets the shot so easily. I mean, had to just let me just chill here. He's probably got his feet up on the table. He's like, guys, take over for one round. I'm just feeling a bit tired. And he's gonna be rested up and going in for the next one. But it's a 6-0 scoreline, and I mean, Reckoning, they're yet to find a footing. I feel like map control is also an issue. They're pushing into the sites, but again, they're not taking out some of the players that are still in the site, which they definitely need to. Because later on, as we saw that clutch from Stranger, the players in the site, they're proving to be detrimental for them. And the fact that they aren't, that potent while going into the site either, like that lack of initiator, which we believe could be faulty for this problem. They're having so much trouble. They're losing so many players while just getting into position, just getting into the site. And what happens is just the rest is just history. As we see the majority of players now towards the side of B main, entering again without that initiator, without that flash is going to be difficult. And they're already on the flank as well. Look at Trick's position. I'm not sure if they know. Pretty sure they don't know at all. Trix is pushed down from sewer into that right outside that mid area, and now with that Killjoy lockdown being placed, and now with especially with Trick pushed up all the way towards mid, they know this has to be a B push, and instead they're gonna be taking the fight to them. Beast gets one, traded out by Yuvan. Now the pace of the game has changed. They're trying to go in for the side take for the gravitational well. Here comes the showstopper, doesn't find anything, but Trick gets one more into NQ. So much is happening in this side, but all of them in favor of Salt. Maybe I spoke too soon. Sukuna finds a couple, but Trick, what is happening in this matchup? 7-0 is the scoreline. They lose 3 players, but doesn't matter. The economy is already great. 9,000 on 3 people. What is that? What is this match? How have the tables turned?
I don't. Honestly, at this point, no one can. This was by far one of the most expensive rounds we have seen in the best of 3. Expensive not just in the terms of the guns that have been bought, utility and all, but the ultimates that were used up as well. And for Reckoning, it still didn't lead into anything. It was a great Killjoy lockdown. It resulted in a trade as well when Beast pushed up, and he only got a single kill before dying out. But again, the execute was just completely halted, stopped, dead to the core, dead to rights. Reckoning couldn't even go into the bomb site. They tried their best. IonQ was, using his updraft, his whirlwind to dash up and down, but even that didn't work. Leave the spike. Reckoning couldn't even manage to get a few of their members near where the spike is usually planted, near that box. So Salt Esports, they're doing one thing absolutely brilliantly, thanks to the 2 sentinels that they have, is that they are shutting down the executes. Plain and simple. All they're doing is just shutting down the executes, and Reckoning don't seem to have an answer for that. They took a tactical timeout right now. Hopefully this was a tactical timeout which is going to go and is going to result in a beneficial scenario. They know what to do right now. They have a certain game plan, because 5 rounds remaining in this half, and I'm gonna be honest, Krito, I see Salt Esports taking at least 3 of them.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, as you said, they are hard countering. I mean, I believe they're sort of hard countering the side of Reckoning. They are playing 2 Sentinels to their 0 initiator. So, I mean, if that's not a hard counter, I don't know what is. I mean, you have these agents that are so good at holding onto the sites, and the only agents who have the best utility to break through those barriers are not even in the game. Or at least Ronda, if he's going to be able to do the entry without that utility, he's going to be taking on Trick. And again, this is a bit of a half buy, really messy buy for the side of Reckoning. There is one Vandal. I believe it was picked up from the dead body of Trick, but one Vandal, a couple of Spectres, and a couple of pistols to work with. Blaze Storms on hand too, I believe, but he's gonna lose his life. Okay, the entry is under the B side. They have taken position. They can pick up some weapons as well. A couple of Vandals now, and they can get the bomb down. So that's some money in their pockets. All good.
Where is Yevix?
Is
I think he's having some
disconnected.
technical issues. Oh, that's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Let's get back to the action right now. As Salt Esports, it's essentially a 2 versus 5. There's no point saving their guns because the economy is fine. Plus, the half is coming to an end. So what they can try is essentially go for just kills and try to pick off some heads, as they have been doing for so many rounds consecutively. Beast will be peeking wide. There comes the Sky Flash. He peeks. He sees a few members. He looks to go and peek again. He's so close to the bomb site. He doesn't want Reckoning to escape as well. He wants to go for the exit frags. However, they won't be getting any. Yevix sadly has disconnected. Reckoning Esports, though, not sad for them. Very fortunate for their side as they get their first round on board. Hopefully looking for more. Yeah, 2 people die. That's not good. A few guns wasted.
Indeed, I believe all of them picked up some rifles. Like, they can recover, it's all good. But again, the situation they're in, 7-1, the economy they're in, I believe every rifle sort of counted there, every person alive counted, and it might not seem like much because they can go for the buys, but again, in the long run, it's definitely gonna hurt them economy-wise. But what's gonna hurt the side of Salt more is this a little pause that they have to go through, because again, the side of Salt Esports, they are feeling the momentum, they are riding the momentum, because they got 7 rounds in a row, and finally the side of Reckoning are able to pull one through. And I believe if Yevix was there, maybe that might not have been possible either, because with 3 people on the retake, with the Rays on the retake, who knows, they might come in with one more clutch. But regardless, he's going to be reconnected, and we're going to be continuing on with the round. And still, the side of Salt very much in the driver's seat. They are very much in control of the game, and they're playing really well. Even if they switch to the attack, I feel like the agent composition still suits them to play that same aggressive playstyle. They still have the Astra Killjoy composition, they still have the flash from the sky, and the rays to do the entry and do the heavy fragging. So well-rounded lineup. If they can able to translate that on their attacking half and keep the same pace going, then I believe this should be not a very difficult match for the side of Salt. Again, Reckoning, they can turn things around. It's gonna be quite demanding. Yes, some might say impossible, but again, this team has achieved very surprising stuff in the past. So I'm gonna keep my mindset optimistic for them, at least for now.
Yeah, the only chance I see happening is if Reckoning put in major legwork right now and they try for an 8-4, something like that. 7-5 is too much to ask. I don't think 7-5 will be happening, but 8-4, as unlikely as that sounds, can be something Reckoning need to look forward to. Because if that doesn't happen, then I can see Salt Esports, all they need to do is somehow win the pistol, win the follow-up, and they should be good to go for the rest of the game. I think because of the momentum, because of the confidence that they have, they will be able to take the map one way or another, by hook or by crook. Right now, we can see that, yeah, the technical pause still going on. We'll be starting very, very soon. Still players going through that. Apologies, but nothing can be done about it. For the side of Reckoning, they still have to do many things about their attack. They still got to make sure this was a good sort of initiation, a good form of initiation. Now they have to keep on building this play and how they played right there by eliminating so many of the members, by isolating those gunfights themselves. They stuck together, and then they just got side control planted and all that jazz. So this was a good showing. The thing is, yet again, because we are going towards the final few rounds of the first half, economy isn't going to be that big of a factor. You just, both teams, they'll have similar guns, a bit differences here and there. It's going to come down to more ultimates and how quickly and how usefully and how resourcefully you can actually use those ults. Salt Esports, they've got the Resurrection, they've got the Lockdown, the Cosmic Divide, a lot of ultimates to both go for a retake and to deny an execution. Reckoning, they've got the Resurrection and Cosmic Divide. Divide. Again, Resurrection, everyone knows its purpose. It can be used at any time. The Cosmic Divide, however, can be used to line up a good execute. Reckoning this round, what they have to do, get the initial kill, get the initial kills perhaps even, and then use the Cosmic Divide, take side control, and play a good post plant. They need this round to go in their favor as well.
Yeah, the ultimates will definitely play a key role in this, but I feel like in the first place, Reckoning, they're having such a tough time pushing into the site. And how much of the ultimates do they really want to invest in either scenario? Because again, both their entry into the site and both their post plans, they're having a lot of trouble gunfight wise and utility wise as well. So again, these ultimates definitely make things a little bit easier, but how much do they want to use up? Again, they only have a couple of those ultimates right now, and again, the revive, it sort of only doesn't really work out in the heat of the moment when you can't really provide cover for the player that's being revived. If that doesn't happen, I guess that player is as good as bait, and you can try and at least bait him out, bait the revive out to get at least one frag. But again, they need to be really smart on how they spend these ultimates, because they also have to think of the long run, because they have a lot of ground to gain. 7-1, if they want to get this as close as possible, they want to be really efficient with these ultimates, because initially potentially these ultimates actually give the rounds too. They're sort of a gift. They're like, okay, what do you want me to do? Okay, entry to the site, done. Killjoy ultimate will 90% of the time do that. Cosmic Divide will 90% of the time safely let you through a site without being exposed to an angle, right? But again, you don't want to use all of those in one round at the same time or at different times. You want to be smart with those, and you have to think on the long run about those. Use based on maybe in a per round system, like, okay, this round we use this one, stuff like that. But again, for now, they only have a couple of ultimates to work with. And that's definitely not going to help if they give away frags early on. But okay, all right. Trick has some tricks up his sleeve as he takes down Bondev, the one of the initial duelists taken out from the team. Stranger sends a Trailblazer in, doesn't find much info, knows that there are players there, but that's blatantly obvious. Yuvin's testing. His luck won't be the same as Trist. So it won't be the same as Trick.
You will not.
Here comes the revive behind the wall. Iron 2, is he gonna go for a peek? He should, and he gets the frag.
Okay, yeah, that's still good for the side of Reckoning. They have gotten the initial kill after the resurrection and all, so things are looking fine. And the thing is, they got rid of the Sage, so no resurrections on board for Salt Esports, since the Sage can't revive herself as well. So now it is for sure going to be a 5 versus 4. However, look at the time, 30 seconds on the clock. Reckoning have to, make sure that they use all of the time usefully, and they use it in a concise manner. Don't waste any of it. 20 seconds, now they'll be looking to execute. The Cosmic Divide goes through. Here come the attackers. The defenders will be rotating over the showstopper, clearing all the angles. Ion Q finds another kill, looking on the up and up for Reckoning. Salt Esports, the reinforcements are here, but I don't think they're enough. Stranger, does he peek from the Cosmic Divide? No, he's still waiting for his teammates. There goes the Killjoy lockdown from the side of Salt Esports, and now the flashes will be here as well. Everyone is rushing towards Garage. There go the swarm grenades. The lockdown will be used up. The side of Salt Esports, they have to try and defuse the spike. However, everyone's right here in Garage. Stranger has to hold them off. The spike is being defused. Everyone is pushing the gravity well as well, acting on them. It's all down to Beast, and I don't think he'll stay alive for long. No, he can't.
7-2, and the side of Reckoning get their second round in a row, second round in this map. And I gotta say, it looked really shaky at the beginning. Their push down mid wasn't efficient. They lost one player. The revive, I believe, it was a little bit shaky. They got the player back up. That's no problem. They even got a frag out of it from Iron Q. So that's all good and dandy. But it came down to the execution. They were able to do the entry. And I sort of, I believe Salt, they wanted to play the postman. They fell back. They wanted to play with all 4 of their players on the field, on the same site, and with the lockdown as well. But in the end, the utility usage from the Astra, the Killjoy, definitely worked out in their favor. I believe Saul gave just a little bit too much time to Reckoning to prepare for that. But all good now as we're moving on to the next round. Trick with the first frag onto Sukuna. That's going to be cancelling out the Astra, making the entries a bit more difficult without that cover. Again, I believe the Astra is sort of, playing a pseudo initiator role here with the with the concussions and gravitational well sort of acting as flashes and concussions, but great read coming out from IronQ, but doesn't get the frag, has to dash away. Can he get at least one frag? He's spamming at the wrong angle. Instead, he's gonna lose his life to Stranger. Trick, meantime, gets another frag onto Trist, and that's gonna bring it to 2 versus 5. And as soon as Trick goes for this peak, sees Bondef, gets a frag on him as well. I wanted to say sees and gets visual on him. He'll be able to hold him down, at least know where he is, but he gets the frag, so all on to Yuven.
Yeah, and again, Yuven can't really do a lot by himself. The previous round, again, just swinging around like a pendulum. Sometimes Reckoning have the momentum, sometimes that is completely taken away from them. Like, their lives were in this round without any sort of reply back from the side of the attackers. And that is the 8th round. So, going into the penultimate round of the first half, still 9-3, 10-2 is looking like what's going to happen. I don't think Reckoning can win both of these 2 rounds. I think that's highly unlikely. So Salt Esports, I think they'll be very happy with this half. If they get a 10-2, they'll be absolutely delighted with the fact that they can reach double digits as soon as the first half ends, and not even after that. For the side of Reckoning, still so much work to do. They want their final map of this season to be nice. They want to end on a high note, but things are just getting more and more difficult as every single round passes. They tried to reply back, and trust me, they did an excellent job with those 2 rounds, but it still isn't enough at all. They still have so much more to do and so many more rounds to win. Speaking of rounds to win, in this case, it's a slow start. Both the teams are looking to win this. They've got full armor, full buys everywhere. Utility is present. Reckoning, they don't have a single ultimate, which isn't good. Salt Esports, they can use their ults to their advantage. The resurrection is going to be vital right here. But Trick, he's got to remember he has to stay alive in order to use the resurrection and not be the initial kill. Oh.
And he's not going to be alive, I guess, though you spoke too soon. There's Anku is going to get the frag onto him. Meanwhile, Hats is going to be trying to go for a flank, and he goes in. The Killjoy information is not relayed in time, and he's going to get one of the Sukuna. The trade is there. 4v4 scenarios. The retake's going to be beginning. The Cosmic Divide had been used up, and sorry, not because it's a smoke there. For some reason I thought it was Cosmic Divide, but yeah, smoke is used up. The wall is being put up to try and defend this spike, but all 4 players are in the side. Salt should know that, and they should play retake together. As we see, Hats gets the first frag onto Bondef, doesn't clear the angle. As from IronQ behind, gets a frag onto Hats, but Jivix with the trade, and they're all getting the frags. It's 1 versus 2. Yuven, 34 HP, gets 1. Can he get a second? He will get the second. Oh my god, lands the headshot, and 3 rounds. And I mean, I'm speechless, honestly. I thought they'd get the trade, but he just lands both heads and gets the 3rd round in a row. And I believe he's a little bit too overjoyed. He's probably out off his chair right now. He's probably dancing outside his desk. But yeah, it's gonna be an 8-3 scoreline. 9-3 is definitely on the cards right now for the side of Reckoning. Again, they have to go through another Salt Esports with full buys, full armor and everything. So they're not out of the woods yet.
Yeah, still, Reckoning Esports 8-4 should be fine, okay? They can prove me wrong and they can go for the 8-4. But yeah, yet again, full buy versus full buy. You never really know how these are gonna go, just like the previous round. So we still have to look out for that. The Trailblazer though gets a lot of information, and Bond, if he gets the opening kill, this is good. Reckoning are still putting on the pressure towards mid. They're not looking on other avenues right now. Towards B garage, we may see another gunfight taking place as Beast is pushing through, and he may encounter Sukuna very soon. Does he check the angle? Yes, he does, and he gets the kill. There's the resurrection. Before you know it, now it's Reckoning Esports who are under pressure right now, and you don't have the man advantage as they're looking to push into the A bomb site, which is completely empty, mind you. The Salt Esports overlooked on it. However, now that they're back on the bomb site, they can still go for the kills. They get 1. There's the trade. There's another following up. Reckoning Esports are looking good right now, but for how long since they have to plant the spike?
It becomes a post-ban scenario. The spike is going on from Bond. 2 versus 2 as Stranger gets a frag onto IronQ. The wall is placed upstairs. They have to push in from the main side, but Beast gets the first frag onto Bond. It's all on the Trisk. Has full HP, has full armor, gets the first frag onto Beast. 1 versus 1 Stranger. Plays it patiently. Tries to play the time, tries to get something happen, but Trist, he's gonna be jiggling and spotting him out, lands a headshot, and these clutches are saving the side of Reckoning. Bring it to an 8-4. Not a bad scoreline. Certainly better than we thought. Certainly better than we expected it to happen. Still very much possible to come back. It's gonna be difficult though. They need to get 4 rounds just to equalize, and that starts to bring the pistol round. And so far the pistol rounds have not been looking the best. And again, the lineup, agent selection, they do have again two duelists to play on the retake. They have an Astra and a Killjoy to play together off. But again, the lack of proper what do you call it? Proper initiators are gonna also sort of translate into the defending half when they try and retake the sites. Again, the Astra can play that role, but it's not to the full potential. And considering again the side of Salt Esports have two duelists, it's sorry, not two duelists. They have an initiator and a couple of sentinels. I feel like it's the well-rounded agent composition. Well, let's find
Yeah.
out. Trying to push this A side.
Yeah, that is the thing. So right now, again, with the pistol round, both the teams are looking for that. Salt Esports, because of that double duelist, like, sorry, not Salt Esports, because Reckoning of the double duelist, they can take more gunfights early on and not care about utility too much, because to be fair, it's the pistol round. There isn't much utility. Look at IonQ, he gets one. Sukuna gets another. Salt Esports, they are falling apart by the numbers. Just completely isolated gunfights. Trick gets the first kill for his team, and Stranger capitalizes it more. Look at Trick in this angle, but he can't seem to get the right clicks on. Stranger was behind, but both of them just could not get a single kill. Oh, absolute shambles. Unfortunately, Salt Esports missing their shots and missing a golden opportunity, even though things weren't looking good from the start. As soon as Reckoning got those two kills, Salt just couldn't do it.
The shots weren't connecting, and that's gonna be allowing the side of Reckoning to go for their buys. All specters in their hands, all full armor, trying to get that lead extinguished, trying to get that equalization done as soon as possible. And starting the pistol round could have been the best, was probably the best thing they could have hoped for. And now winning this next round should be easy on paper, but you never know. But again, an 8-6 would bring them a little bit closer to that equal scoreline. As we see the wall trying to be broken, Trist will land some shots onto the opposition Sage. That is Strick. Bond up with the first strike on the hats with a nade. Really? I mean, wait, how did he get that nade in there? I have no idea. Probably threw it down from ramps. But he will be taking out the Astra. So entry without smokes, entry without that controller is not going to be easy. They still have an initiator to work with, but post plans will be much difficult. Trist trying to bait them in, trying to pull them in towards main, where IonQ is going to be holding on. So far, they're not going to give him any peeks. Rather, they're trying to go into mail to A. There are a couple of players pushing that A heaven, and no one's in that A heaven. Unless, of course, Trist decides to walk into CT. But IonQ tries to dash away. He brings the Sage to low HP, but lets him run away, lets him heal up. And I'm really confused. Okay, so they're pushing all the way to CT. And I guess Trick is trying to distract these players, but okay.
30 seconds
Trist
left.
gets surprised by side of Yevix and Stranger as well. They're gonna get these frags. It's all on to Bond to hold on until the player scrum gets one. Can he get a second? Knows where the players are.
Yeah. Oh,
Having a tough time. Oh, gets a okay, not bad. Gets a
Spike
couple. 2
down
versus
A.
2.
still 2 versus 2. The spike is going to be planted
10
post
seconds
plant,
left. Spike's down.
and yeah, right now all the pressure on Reckoning, but the thing is, look, things are looking fine for them. IonQ is going to destroy. Oh no, the Sage was. Oh, that's going to be more time wasted and more bullets utilized. So he has to find another avenue this time. It is going to be Heaven entrance. Salt Esports, both their members are a bit isolated.
enemy remaining.
They are outside. However, that's just 2 kills from UN that allows Reckoning to get that. I was going to mention how IonQ was also being aggressive, but no, UN just ends things off. And Salt Esports, well, they are losing rounds. Reckoning get another on board. This is looking nice for them. They won the pistol, they won the anti-eco. If Salt want a chance to stay in the fight and to keep and maintain their lead, they have to win this full buy.
Indeed, they do. But again, they have a couple of rounds to work with, and I believe 9-6 should be on the card according to the economy. And even if it isn't, I feel like they still have some time to work around this and try to get that equalization to get the lead again. It's still very much possible. And considering they played the last half really well, momentum should still be in their favor. And so far, the utility is looking really good. It feels really good. And as Stranger gets the first back onto IonQ, it's gonna be looking far better. The wall does go down, and it's gonna be going down in mail. It's gonna be trying to delay the entry, or at least deny the entry there, but Trist with a judge. Is he gonna go on I don't think he can go on top of that wall, but he can at least provide them a nasty surprise as the wall breaks. But no, Trick has some tricks up his sleeve. This whole match, Trist, he's actually been getting a lot of frags on the counterpart Sage, and the entry into the B side is done so easy. Not a single life lost. It's all on to Bondef, who's stuck in CT, trying to find a pick. But I think he's gonna be trying to go for a save.
Smart decision. He's got the rifle, got the vandal, save it, and he's got half armor, which will help him later on in the next half. Salt Esports, they don't even need to plant. Okay, they can plant the spike, and then just play on the basis of that. Nothing else to do. They know this round is theirs. They don't have to push a lot. I don't think Salt Esports will be pushing a lot, and yeah, they're just going to stay there. I think this is more, the next 40 seconds are just going to be a bit of a mental reset for both of these teams. It's just going to be, it's just going to be a lot of like, stay there, don't move, and they're going to be discussing what their strategy will be heading into the next few rounds. Salt Esports now, they've got 9 rounds. Reckoning wouldn't like to give them any more, and that's why Reckoning, with their own full buy, they can start going for it. The guns and the armor utility, it's still going to be a bit dodgy on both ends. However, I think both the teams can try and make the best out of the situation as this round comes to an end. The spike is going to be blasted. That is the thing done and dusted. Bondef, yeah, he's just going to stay there at the brink of the A-bomb site. Nothing much will be happening to him. And yeah, that's the round done. So Salt Esports, yes, what to do for them? Initial kills are going to play a big factor because Reckoning also have an equal set of guns right now. Just the thing is, they don't have the best of armors. Salt can take those gunfights knowing that they have a slight advantage heading into them because of this armor difference.
Yeah, indeed. And I believe with this follow-up round coming in, the economies, it's in, again, a really weird state. Instead of Reckoning, sort of going for a full buy, but again, lacking armor and everything. Trist with the judge again. He's been holding good positions with it, but just failing to get those frags. And I feel like if you get a frag with the judge, it's definitely going to be impactful. But this positioning on B main, it's going to be hard to push through. But luckily, the side of Salty, sorry, not Why Salty, it's Salt Esports. They're pushing in towards that A side and A heaven. There is Killjoy utility though. So as soon as that alarm bot goes off, Yuven might go for a peek and find one frag. It will be destroyed. He's trying to fall back. Will spot out one of the players. Flash will be coming in as well. Should have information that there are players in A heaven. Rotation will be done as well as the nade goes down to deny the entry, deny any kind of obstacle that they can provide to deny the spike plant. But Beast, he's going to be putting some utility of his own outside screens. And the bomb plant goes down. It's going to be a 5 versus 5 retake. 9-6 is the scoreline. They're both fighting for economy. And they're both fighting for momentum. Let's see who wins this.
Yeah, right now the retake is on. Reckoning already. This reminds me of one of the rounds on the map of Ascent, where it was a similar retake, and that time Reckoning, I think they weren't able to make it, although in this case it may be like that. However, look at this flank, 2 headshots, stricken Hats, and they're still looking for more. Hats gets his second, Reckoning and down to 2, and both of them cornered off towards defender spawn. There goes the guiding light, there comes the peek from Stranger, he gets 1, and Salt Esports again, very nicely how they dealt with this post-gun scenario. That flank on rafters on A heaven, it was absolutely lovely. No one from Reckoning expected that. Got them so off guard and just entirely shifted the focus of Reckoning Esports from let's focus on the bomb side to what just happened? Why are members who are in a safe position dying?
Indeed, and I mean, I sort of was a little bit confused in that, like, okay, what's happening here? Okay, oh, there's the player there, so that's what happened, and then it's gonna result in this 10-6 scoreline. And again, those first 2 rounds from the side of Reckoning, it's great. They got the pistol round, they got the second buy round, and the start was good for them. It's the way you want to start this scenario, right? The way you want to try and close this gap up. But again, the gap was just too big, and they needed to win that last round, where their weapons disparity was sort of a little bit in their favor. But again, they failed to do that, and now it's going to be a 10-6, and 4 rounds, it's easier said than done to equalize. And I mean, equalize isn't the thing that they need. It's just the last map, so they need to cross that, take the lead, and go for that 13 as soon as possible. So it's very unlikely they do this, but again, as I said, I always have to be optimistic for them, and I'm optimistic for any of the underdog teams. who are sort of trailing in the score line. So you never know what's going to happen for now. But Salt Esports, they are looking to be in a really good position. And again, there is sort of exploiting the agent composition as well. As we see Stranger, he's playing such a good role with an initiator. He's not only just, you know, doing the initiation for the team, but also getting those frags as well. As he's top fragging for the team right now, top fragging in the server. 19 to 10, not a bad score line. And providing the entry for his team's for his team's players with the flashes, all those utilities working out really well. And Reckoning, they just can't win those gunfights with that kind of support. It makes life so much harder for the players defending this site. And with also this economy, this lack of utility, it's not gonna get any easier.
Reckoning are just going deeper and deeper into the pit, and they can't seem to escape out of it. As right now, again, looks like another technical issue. Hopefully, it gets resolved. You know, we have seen a few of them in this match and on Ascent, but they have been resolved, and that's the good thing. Sooner rather than later, they'll be fixed. Looks like this one as well. You know, it seems to be fixed, but we're just waiting on the confirmation from the administrators back. And right now, we are also waiting on this very round number 17, because the side of Reckoning thing is they've got to start putting something right now. They've got to start, you know, piling on the pressure. Salt Esports, they've got 2 ultimates. Reckoning don't have anything to show in terms of the ult economy, except for that one Bladestorm that Jet now has unlocked. So the Bladestorm, yep, that's going to be utilized from IonQ. He will be ready to take some heads off. However, is he going to be shot down? Because Salt Esports, they're still looking nice. And the thing is, their attack is looking better because Reckoning just don't have the guns right now. They just don't have the buy. They've got pistols all over. And it is just not enough to compare it to the rifles and full armor that Salt are bringing on the table. So that Bladestorm, those headshots are the only thing that can change this round. Otherwise, I see Salt Esports getting the 11th pretty quickly.
Calling my bot.
Yeah, and despite all that gun disparity, I believe Salt are giving a lot of respect
I've
to
got
the
your-
side of the timing. The timing was so bad. Sakuna is gonna be taking down hats. That's gonna be a free gun for him. Meanwhile, the entry to the A side is happening. There are no smokes right now because the entry is being done by pure brute force. And to the Bladestorm is here trying to deny the spike plan. He will deny the spike plan.
Spike
Trick gets
down
another
A.
trade onto Triss. It's still a 3 versus 3 scenario. Ultimates available for
30
both
seconds
sides as we see the lockdown available for Beast as he can try and get one in the post plan, but IonQ takes down Trick. The
You should
lockdown
run.
definitely should come down, and it will come on. As the nade is being thrown, that's gonna buy some time for these players on the sites. All these sports, they can try and find some more room in this postman scenario. But again, there's still an man disadvantage. It's still a 3 versus 2 scenario, and they still have to make sure they keep count of this lockdown. But Beast gets one, but traded quickly. There's another player on his right. Oh, he just realizes there are 2 players surrounding him on both sides. Gets the one onto Sukuna. Can he get the last frag onto the Jet? He's spraying away, missed the shots, but IonQ pulls out the Vandal and gets the shot in. It's gonna be a 10-7 score line. Does he have time? I think yes. Yeah, he has time. It's gonna be 10-7, and ooh, it got a little bit close there.
Yep, that's the thing. But again, great for the side of Reckoning that they still managed to take it. Because again, Salt Esports, it's just looking like what happened, you know, they just lost the gunfights in an instant, and Reckoning, they get their 7th on board. So absolutely exactly what they were looking for. Now you see the scoreboard, now you see the economy, and you can see that this is a far more closer match than one could have expected. Reckoning are on the defense right now. They are ready with their defenses. They've got everything lined up and ready. Only thing is, Salt Esports, can they deny that? Can they sort of form an execution? Passing through this operator, passing through the Sage walls, it's not going to be an easy task. It never is. So Salt Esports need to conjure up some strategy, something that no one can expect, because they're so close to going for those match points, and they're so close to getting this decider map under control. Right now, Reckoning Esports, they have lost a person, but look at Bond. He can go up. He can go up vents. Yuven also goes down. Bondef is speaking. Oh, again, great. He gets 1 kill. He has got the showstopper.
Oh,
Beast spots him, and Beast follows through.
What?
He
doesn't
follows
die?
through. I don't
doesn't
know.
die?
He was in the air, I guess. Oh,
I have
man.
no idea how. It's a rocket launcher. Okay. I mean, at least, a couple of months ago, not a couple of months, at least a few months ago, people were complaining, why is a rocket launcher in the game? And now I'm like,
Spike planted.
why is the rocket launcher not doing enough damage? it's weird how the world works, but
It's
um,
the physics of the showstop, honestly. As someone who, whenever I load into Spike Rush, I seem to play Raze a lot, at least whenever I can get to play Raze because people auto pick her a lot. Yeah, the showstopper, its physics are completely broken. Sometimes I'm so happy, sometimes I can get multi kills and stuff, even though I really shouldn't, and I'm like, oh, it's a nice highlight worthy moment. And sometimes I'm like, how did it miss him? He was 5 meters away on the ground, standing. And this was just one of those instances where no one really knew what was happening. That is one thing good for Reckoning, though. However, Salt Esports, what are they trying to do? Why? No. That's
calm
three
down, boy.
guns just completely gone for no reason. That may be a fourth?
All
Okay,
right.
no, Stranger gets one. That's still nice. Oh,
Oh,
my
oh, that's he got the operator.
that's
Okay.
big. That is big.
Consider debt repaid. Yeah, 3 players lost, no problem. Take away that operator. That's gonna be a big effect from the side of Salt, and we're gonna see
Yeah.
round going in their favor as well. So that's gonna push back the economy of Reckoning quite a bit. A couple of players from their side still trying to go for the buys, and I don't believe that's the wisest choice. But again, what option do they have right now? They either buy and try and deny the match point, and if they fail, match point on bad eco weapons. And if they don't, I mean, it's a scuff situation either ways. What are they gonna do? And so they're just trying to end things right now. They're trying to push to this A ramps, even to the gravitational well. Yuven's gonna get one frag onto Trick. The trade is there by Yves, and they're still trying to get into the site. Still entry is being denied. There's no one really standing in their way. The rotation is here, but the weapons aren't enough. Couple of Vandals is all they have to work with. Is Anq gets one on the Stranger. Okay, things are looking a bit hairy right now, as it's a 2 versus 4 scenario. They are surrounded from both sides. Beast needs to get this frag to find this opening, and he fails.
Spike down mid.
Takes down Beast and sees the spike as well. Even he's gonna lose the gunfight against Trish as well. And it's an 11-8. The match point has been denied, and it's gonna allow an 11-8 scoreline. It's getting really weird right now. It's really difficult for me to predict what's gonna happen in this next round, because economy, it's either looking really good or really bad for either sides, and it's just I don't know, man. It's just really weird. Oh.
That's the thing, because there's no set strategy as to what's happening. Often at times, Salt Esports are getting the initial kill, then they lose. Reckoning can get the opening kill, and then they can lose as well, or they can get a dub. It's very uncertain what's happening, and although that is interesting for all of us to witness, because again, like I've been saying for so long, if you are a Reckoning fan, this will be the last time you'll be seeing them in season 3 of the Gauntlet. The next time you'll see them possibly in season 4 qualifiers. So right now, enjoy this, savor this moment as to how your team is playing. But for the team members, for the all 10 players in the server right now, yeah, they've got to be aware as to not give their life away. And Salt Esports, they're ready for a B take. They're right here. The spike still going down mid. So they can have a change of plans if they would like. They can push up mid vents as well, and then try and go on A, because on A, it's all alone. You know, IonQ is all by himself, isolated. And if Salt Esports go for something like that, it can certainly work. But they don't have info that IonQ is alone. For all they believe, it's a regular setup right there. And that's the thing. There is not a lot of info on the side of Salt Esports. The Trailblazer can be utilized. And yeah, exactly that's what's going to happen. Showstopper, Trailblazer, Cosmic Divide. Everything goes through. Yivix is right here. He's in the bomb site. He throws the Showstopper and he gets the kill this time. Bondef as well on the edge. He cannot seem to live. The Defender Killjoy lockdown has been activated. The spike is going to go down. And then Salt Esports, they have to fall back to the bomb site. But they can't do it just yet. This gives Reckoning such a good chance to fall back in and waste more time. 15 seconds remaining. Yivix dies. Trick gets the refrag. However, there's IonQ on Heaven, and that is it. Reckoning Esports, thanks to the lockdown, thanks to the time that was bought using the Killjoy Storm Grenade and the lockdown, all because of Killjoy, all because of utility, did Reckoning win that round.
And he's being such an MVP right now for his team. Not only just denying the spike plan, denying long enough to actually push them out because of the lockdown. And I mean, if not for that lockdown, I don't know what would happen to the side of Reckoning right now. But because of that, they're able to get that win, and they're going to be able to push Salt Esports back to another eco. So, let's see. It's going to be, on paper, it should be a 10-11, right? Because of the weapon disparity. And after that, they need to win this one buy round to make it 11-11. So, again, I mean, maybe maybe decided Reckoning bring this back from the grave. They certainly took their time to do it. They certainly, played with a lot of their strategies, played with a lot of time, a lot of utilities to be able to get in this scenario. But okay, Hats with the shot like that. What else do you need? He's going to find a shot onto Bondev. Revive will be immediate though by Twist. He's going to be spamming away, trying to provide some cover fire. So it's still a 5 versus 5. All that effort, all that intuition into a peak given away to a revive. Now you have been trying to deny the entry, but they're going to be trying to go in regardless. Beast will fall to the hands of IronQ. Stranger also there has to fall back because of all that utility, but they rendezvous in that A heaven area, trying to make their way onto that A site, and time's ticking away. There's only 40 seconds left. They have to find an opening, and it looks like they're choosing CT. The only one they're not flashed. Oh, lands a really magnetic, snappy shot onto Stranger. Gets a follow-up onto Trix, but Yevix with a trade. And he's all alone right now. Has a player behind him. I just realized it's Hats. But they're stuck in such a difficult scenario. Hats gets one onto Yevin, but how many more can they get? There's no way. Okay, maybe not. There's one more player behind him. There's a player behind him. Sukuna is not going for the peak. What?
10 seconds left.
I guess he's trying to plant the spike, but yeah, it's going to be very difficult with that.
Oh, no time. Done. GG.
2 seconds. Oh, he tried for the no scope, but regardless, Reckoning Esports 10 rounds, now only one away. What seemed like an 8-4 difference has now been turned into 11-10. So Reckoning are really looking good, and this is the first time we're seeing, I think this is the first time we're seeing Salt Esports go for a tactical timeout, and it just shows the condition they're in. They don't want to give this up. They have all to play for in the season. Reckoning Esports may be relegated, but Salt Esports can still go to the main event, can still play for the cash prizes and still make a name for themselves, not just against teams such as ENIGMA, Velocity, who are in Group A, but also against the lethal giants of Group B. You know, teams such as True Rippers, EXO, Exploit, SATUL, and so many more. So that's why Salt Esports, they still need to stay alive. They can't lose just yet. And this tactical timeout, it's going to be big. The next round, the one we are just going to see, is probably going to be a very influential one. Because if Salt win, well, that's match point and they're so close. And I think they may be able to close it 13-10 or 13-11. But if Reckoning win, I can see Reckoning be the ones who take match point for themselves.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna come down to this last couple of rounds, honestly, and whatever determines the economy before the round of match point. That sort of, emphasizes on the rest of the match. It sort of, sets the tone for the last couple of rounds in the matchup in these following few rounds. So whoever has the best economy, I believe, will be, in the best situation to win. Again, right now, momentum is also a factor, but I feel like both the teams have been playing long enough. They're definitely feeling the game enough to be able to hit the shots wherever they need. It's all going to come down to strats and economy and guns. And right now, Bondev is going to be making the most of his Vandal. He gets the opening frag on a Stranger. They all pushed in together. I believe 3 players push down mid. They get that opening frag, and that's going to be putting them at an early man advantage.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get the trade on mid, but they have fallen back. They're long gone. And now they're working on denying any other entry through mid.
That's the thing, that right now for the side of Reckoning, they just have to deny this execute. Post plant may not be the best case scenario because they don't have any killjoy utility, and for Salt Esports, they've got the Cosmic Divide and the Lockdown. So for them, the post plant will be good. That's why Reckoning, they've got to make sure that they deny it early on. They don't let side control go to Salt Esports. Even if they do, they make sure it's not all too bad. The spike though, it's still dropped in sewers. It's still not been collected. Now the Sage is going to take the spike, but that's going to be another extra 5-10 seconds. Not that it matters for now. There goes the Killjoy Lockdown. Trist has to play right here at the edge of it towards B Heaven. He throws one of his slow orbs. Everyone is evacuating the bomb site, and that's going to lead into Salt Esports taking the bomb site for themselves. Again, very influential round. One of the ultimates has been used. There goes the Sage Wall, and it's not going to be broken at the moment. So no one has been detained, and everyone is alive. 4 versus 5 scenario. Salt Esports still not the best of angles. Yevix, he's got to fall back. They're very vulnerable right there. he could not have dealt with that. So the Cosmic Divide is also going to be helping Salt, because Reckoning, they don't know what they'll be entering into because of the angle that's been created. Sukuna as well, he may just go for a counter crossfire of his own, and Yivix gets a double.
my
This is looking good. He gets 3 headshots with that one Vandal. Salt Esports are looking better right now, but it's still a 2 versus 2. Ion Q, he spots the Sage. He'll be going around the pillar. Beast is looking for the kill. Trick gets the... Yep, Trick gets the frag, and Salt Esports get the match point. So many ultimates were used, so many Cosmic Divides, lockdowns, whatnot. But towards the end, Salt Esports, after the execution, all thanks to Yivix and this very triple kill, Salt take match point and best of 3 point.
Now my question is, have they used up all their ultimates in that single round to do that entry, to do that post-ban scenario? Now they do have a couple more to work with, specifically Trick's revive on the Sage and the Seekers from Stranger. Again, the Seekers can be used both at entry and at post-ban, but again, I feel like something like the Lockdown and Cosmic Divide would have been a lot better in this scenario, but doesn't matter. Yivix is just gonna satchel into the side. That's the entry for you. They've done it. They're in the side. The spike is not there yet, but there are a lot of players surrounding this A side. 4 to be specific from the side of Reckoning. Spike is yet to be planted. It's finally going down from the side of Yevix, and we're going to be entering the post-ban scenario again. A couple of ultimates are available from both sides. Bladestorm's already active for INQ. Remember, economy still isn't the best for the side of Reckoning, but great nades placement from Bondef. Trades do come in. INQ gets one onto Hats, not before Hats gets one onto Joven. Still a 3 versus 4 scenario. Man, disadvantage for Salt. They need to win this post-ban to get this dub. Here comes the Showstopper, finds one. Bonded with a second one as well. Counter Showstopper, doesn't find anything. Hold on to Yevings, and he's gonna lose the gunfight. And Q with the Bladestorm gets the shot in and barely have enough time to get the defuse in. And 12-11. One more round for Reckoning to tie things up, and OT might be on the cards. And looks like, I mean, this is getting way too tight for me. This is getting way too close, honestly. Really good retake though, if I'm being honest. I believe Salt, they were a little bit congested in that A site, and it was just really easy pickings for the side of Reckoning.
They were
but
cornered off, and not much that could be done.
Yeah, but decent entry though. Still,
yes,
not a bad entry. But they don't have money. The economy is not good at all.
That's it. That was the round where they gave it their everything, their level best. And only one ultimate, that's the Resurrection. That may be a bit useful, but yeah, they have to like force through things, force through corners and angles, which is not going to be a pretty sight to witness, especially considering Reckoning have everything on board, all utility, all guns, all angles. So at the moment, Salt Esports aren't looking like the most looking like the squad which doesn't have the best of guns, like we've pointed out. And considering that they are at a severe disadvantage, and considering that rationally it is a very real possibility we are going into an OT, Yevix is right here. He's going to go for the entry. Trist, he can stop this if he wants to. Behind the Sage wall, now he goes back behind the dumpster as well, as he heard the pain shells being thrown. He is ready. Bondef is also holding the crossfire, and Salt Esports, they have to fall back from mid for the time being, as they cannot pressurize even more. So they are back up where they started, but they haven't made any major progress. They're still at the very edge of B heaven. No kills have been taken. Yevix is right here peeking the angle. Trist is there. Can he get the kill onto Bondef? That can be big. There goes the Trailblazer. Bondef has been spotted. Yevix speaking, and it's going to be his teammate Hats who gets the kill. There's one more person on the bomb side. Sukuna. Now, how long can he stay alive? He knows the spike is there. He gets the headshot onto Yevix, and he was about to get another. Trist comes in the nick of time. Reckoning are down to 2 members.
It's a 2 versus 3 scenario again. A Sheriff in the hands of Beast, but Joven gets a frag on this trick and brings it to a 2 versus 2. But again, low HP on the Sky. Stranger all alone inside dies. It's all on to Beast, but he's on the flank. Can he get this headshot? He needs to get the shot, misses, but gets the shot in the end. 1 versus 1, all for the victory. Salt, they need this one round. He places a turret. He's gonna send the swarm nade in there to try and deny, but it's not there. INQ will be tagged by it, has to fall back. He's brought down to half HP. Can he land this shot? Will he land this shot? He will land this shot! And Beast! There it is! 13-11. It was all the way down to the wire. Everything in this match was exciting. Everything was close enough. It was all delivered by both sides except for the overtime. That's all that separated these two sides. But 13-11, and it's going to be Salt Esports bringing it home, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to be able to win this matchup. And ooh, man, it was that was something. That was an experience. If I'm being honest, it was a roller coaster of
Absolutely.
emotions. Both sides playing so well. Both sides showing really good styles of
Yep.
gameplay, really good ways of improvising, utilities. I mean, it had everything. Both sides they did a fantastic job on in every single map. And I mean, it all. What can I say? It was just such a fun game. I don't really have any
Yeah.
complaints, honestly. There were faults from both sides, obviously, but right now I'm just really
Hmm.
grateful to be able to watch such an interesting match.
Absolutely. Sure. Reckoning this wasn't how they wanted to end their season, but trust me, it was entertaining as anything. Just through the roof. Through the roof. Not many times do we go to a decider map in regular season matches. Usually it ends up in a 2-0. But here, not only did we go to the decider map, but as we can see in the highlights right now, which will be happening, the match lasted for all 24 rounds of regulation. Right now, starting off, the pistol round started off with a 4K. I mean, this was the greatest predecessor to anything. If the pistol round has a 4K using the ghost from Hats, one can only imagine and begin to fathom what's going to happen in the match overall. And that's exactly what happened. Nobody knew what was happening. Reckoning, the start wasn't good. Salt were absolutely piling on the pressure. But then came the comeback. However, eventually Salt did manage to take the win. So very unfortunate. Reckoning are still going to stay near relegations and they will be relegated. Salt Esports, though, they do get 2 points. We'll talk about the standings in a bit. Right now, let's focus on the highlights. Kirito, looking at all of the kills, what was the one major theme you were seeing about any of the players?
Honestly, I felt like this mid presence every time from either side was, I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing. Like, obviously, mid is important in split. There was so much aggression from each side, and especially in those last few rounds from the side of Reckoning, they pushed that mid over and over again. And I feel like the side of Salt Esports, they were able to read that and sort of bait them into pushing into that mid area, and they sort of set up for a good spray down in that A heaven, and got a lot of
Yeah.
frags in that, and determined a lot of those early round scenarios. Getting 2 frags early on there, getting 3 frags early on there sort of sets the tone for the round, fixates the result of that round, and they're able to determine that outcome really well. But again, Reckoning, they made some really really bad mistakes as well. Like, look at this round. Stranger, he was there all along, and he was allowed to get 3 frags. He should have been traded instantly on the first one, and stuff like that is definitely going to affect the rest of your team like that mentally when that happens in a matchup. And again, the entry, again, the lack of initiators, the lack of proper utility used up in there. I mean, you can do the entry without initiators, it's fine, but the players who are sort of using the utilities for that role, they need to use it very efficiently, and that just wasn't there. I feel like if one breach was present, the things would look very different for the side of Reckoning. But yeah, that's just what they had to play with. A couple of those rounds were really good, though. Look at this, especially really good at getting the bomb down, and the post plant setup was really well done. So again, both sides made some mistakes, but overall, it was in the end stages of the matchup where we saw both of them really shine, and both of them played really well, not just on gun plays, on utilities and strats as well, making the match really interesting and really hard to predict, and giving us everything from really like smart big brain plays, flanks, everything like that, to heroic aim based clutches. Like, look at this. We strategically, there's no way he wins this. Right? There's no way the Sage gets this, but he just gets the frag
He
and
did it.
gets the
Yep.
clutch in. Yeah, stuff. I mean, this is just what this match was. It was filled to the brim with everything. Again, these are one of the brick brain plays from the Killjoy.
Oh,
He was
this
able
was
to
a
use the
great round.
utility. Yeah, again, the utility and the strats. Everything is here. We see one clip, it's the aim based clip. We see one more, it's utility based. Like, it just filled to the brim.
Absolutely, that's the thing. There was so much variety as a viewer to just witness this and to just enjoy the game. So much stuff was happening, and by far, one of the best, like best of three matches we've seen all over in season three. Definitely because of how much excitement was felt. One can only imagine what's going to happen in the main event. This is still the regular season going on. And yeah, Reckoning have definitely proved to everyone. They may have lost this BO3, but they have proven to everyone that sure, they may be relegated, but the next time we see them in the qualifiers, they aren't going to stay at the bottom of the table. The next time we see them, they're going to be performing at the top of their caliber, and they're not going to be missing their shots at all. They still have a few consistency issues to be worked on, kind of like how they won on Bind, but they gave up both the other two maps. However, they have been on the path of improvement. It's not like they're just completely dead alone. Looking at these performances as well, yeah, compared to Ascent, IonQ just popped off. 25 kills, average combat score about to touch 290. That is the highest I think we have seen in this best of three overall. Yeah, I don't think we've seen an ACS as high as Ion had right now, and we have in the previous two maps as well. So great stuff. Kudos to him. He was really very, very valuable, as was Bondef. Bondef only may have two less skills. However, even he put up a great performance. Reckoning used the double duelist combination in such a great manner, and they got so many kills because of that. These two people alone, in a single map, they were about to get 50 kills. That just speaks for itself.
Indeed, it does. And on the opposite side of Salt Esports, we're seeing a little bit of a different case. We're going to see the side of Trick. He's going to be the one getting 21 frags, following up by the MVP of the matchup, 20. And I believe an ACS of 255 that gives him the MVP scoreline. Really well played from their side as well. And I feel like they made utilization of the agent selection the most. The utilities, the different kinds of abilities that each of the agents provide was really well utilized from the side of Salt Esports, and that gave them a sort of consistent feeling that I really enjoyed. Really like this kind of an agent selection. Really like this kind of a team. But yeah, that's the result of the matchup. And overall, I mean, there's nothing to really be disappointed about from either side. They both played really well, and I believe both sides should be happy with the matchup as we look at the entire best of the series for one last time. Reckoning taking the first map 13-10. Despite that being sort of close, I felt like they definitely showed a dominant side of theirs, and it looked really cool, especially the way they played aggressively in some of those halves. But it then just started the side of Assault Esports, the way they just piled on Reckoning. I don't know. I mean, Ascent again was surprise to both of us, wasn't it? We sort of expected this opposite thing to happen, but it came out the other way around.
Yeah, for the side, that's the thing. Again, it just completely turned on its head for the side of Reckoning Esports. Such a good start at the end. And that was the thing. Because of that, what happened was nothing more could be done. And just they started losing and losing those gunfights and those duels, and nothing much could have happened after that. They just kept on losing, and that was the thing. There was no sort of repercussion on Ascent. It was the worst that we have seen from the side of Reckoning. They couldn't really salvage any of it. On Split, it was a much, much, much better showing. On Split, the second half was really looking far optimistic when compared to Ascent. Bind was their strongest by far. They took the win on their opponent's map. However, Reckoning, like we said, they still have tons of work to do. This map V2 was a small highlight of their journey so far in their entire groups and in the entire group stages. Speaking of their group stages and how they have performed overall, we can have a look at the updated group standings as well after this BO3 has concluded. So let's bring that up and let's talk about where exactly do Salt Esports sit, because that is what we have to talk about, Kirito.
There
And
we
yep,
go.
there they are. They have only played 5 maps. However, they have already overtaken Weird Esports to take the position number 4.
Indeed, and they're on the same level as Enigma Gaming. Both sides have played 5 matches. Both sides have won 4, lost 1, 8 points for either of them. So I believe Salt Esports, they not only have just solidified a position over here in the top 4, they can definitely work on improving it. They can definitely work on overtaking Enigma. Again, on second position, FSE Sports, they have played, I believe, 7 matches. So I mean, again, they played less matches and they still have such a close scoreline to these players who have who've played more matches and have had more points. So Salt Esports, they definitely looking like a contender in this series to go even higher. It's gonna be difficult to sort of overtake Velocity for the first place, but they can still attempt to get more. Maybe second place, maybe third place. Third place is definitely up for the grabs for them, for their side. But yeah, definitely keep your eyes on Salt Esports this season, because they still have a long way to go and they still have a lot of chances to improve their positioning in the group
Yeah.
of in the Group A standings. And I mean, what else is to be said? The side of Reckoning Esports, they played really well. They're still going to be stuck in that bottom relegation, but again, that was not the point of these matches for them. The point was that, okay, guys, we don't have much to lose. What can we achieve in this scenario? What is our potential? And they just showed us. They took on two really strong teams and put the match down to the wire. They won one match with a great fashion, with really impressive and dominant scoreline, but the second one, it was a little bit closer, but they just couldn't pick the dub. But again, nothing to be ashamed of. Heads held high for the side of Reckoning.
Yeah, I have to say, for the side of Reckoning, lovely performance right there. Absolutely loved all of the kills and, like individual plays. I absolutely love them. And if you watching, you also want to go for these individual plays, like your favorite players, like IonQ did with the Jet, well, make sure you grab a keyboard and mouse combo from Cosmic Byte. Really up to the tier peripherals to give you the best that gaming and, that gaming manufacturers have to offer. They've got all sorts of features to help you. Not only that, but obviously look wise, they always, like Cosmic Byte does, they look stunning. If you want to look stunning, if you don't only want your products to look stunning, you can also get some great apparel from down below and clicking the link and getting the 656 the Esports Gauntlet jersey for us. And you can customize it, have your name, support your teams, and get a discount as well while you're at it. Or you can just use and browse through their streetwear collection from 656 and get some great drip from them. But for now, this was, the Esports Club LG Ultragear presents the Gauntlet Season 3. Unfortunate that we don't have any Group B matches, but Kirito, this was honestly amazing. This match was filled with energy, and I absolutely loved going to the decider map and just even there, 24 rounds. Absolute stunning stuff. However, this broadcast comes to an end as well. So don't worry, guys. We'll be back tomorrow with more matches from the Gauntlet. For now, we'll be signing off. Thank you everyone for watching. I've been CCV alongside Kirito, and we'll meet you tomorrow.